Why? Because Dave fucked me with it. That's the start of the stream.
You know what? And there shall be no context.
There won't be any context. Hey, how we doing, guys? For week 1 of season 2 of PPL Live, and things have got way more professional, as you can tell. We are not only not on time, but we are starting about getting fucked by things. And yeah. With that
So
said,
much as it always has been.
it's pretty much, yeah. If I could ask one of you two to please plug the stream and announcements, that'd be great.
No, I don't think I will.
You know what? You're going to leave me scrambling for the next 5 minutes trying to find the link.
I'll do it. I'll do it.
Thank you. So yeah, we have got 4 games. It was almost 5 games, Pippin. However, unfortunately, Just Matt got stuck at the airport and will not be partaking in this week. But
Do we have 4 games this week? 5 games?
we have 4 games in the end. We nearly had 5. So yeah, let me go
Just 4
ahead.
games, actually.
Slide that one over there so I can actually see what's going on. Am I even actually streaming? It's a good question. It does say I
Yeah,
am.
you're live.
Okay.
I've got you live.
That's good news, I think.
There we go. That's all been tweeted. Not tweeted? I don't know.
Close enough.
You know what I mean.
Discord is basically Twitter at this point. But
Fucking hope not.
with that said, we have got 4 games with 4 new coaches involved. Clearly, Ellie is a new coach.
Who's Ellie?
I've never seen Ellie in the PPL.
No, not at all. Certainly hasn't
Not
been
like
there
a-
since
not like a
season
founding
1. You
member
know,
or
it's
anything.
just
Yeah.
In fact, Ellie might be the one person who has been in part of literally every PPL season, original
Bar one.
and new. Is it one
I've
season you
missed
missed?
one season. Yeah, because I
Lack
went
of
to
commitment.
D League. No. What do you mean?
if it's involvement in any way, because I did analysis for the return of season 1.
Mhm.
Outside of that, I've been in all of them.
That is true.
Yippee!
So actually, you're as committed as Ellie is to the league, and I am the least
Aha.
committed. But that's mainly because I didn't know anyone during the original run. So
Yeah, because you're a
That is
fucking
true,
loser.
yes.
I
You
was a
didn't have-
nobody.
You didn't have clout, bro.
That's so true.
Bro had 0 clout.
Still don't have any, honestly. But yeah, our games for tonight. I should probably get into the actual things that we're meant to be going on about.
Yeah, that might be useful.
We've got Ellie versus new coach Kaz. We've got Nova versus second new coach Pippin Zach. We've got Tom versus Alex, which kind of is both new coaches for this season because Alex took over for like 2 games last season. I'm going to count that as 2. And then we've got Gert versus Matrix in what is going to probably be the fiercest rivalry in that division because those two are good friends and very good at the game. So, with that said, let's show who we've got for this season. A lot of returning coaches and a lot of new faces as well. I've got to now pick through these coaches and remember which ones are new. We got Helios, who I can only apologise for last season's debacle, was meant to be a part of last season.
You are such a
However,
bad
I am incredibly forgetful, and also Helios forgot to join the server, and so between the two of us, we just ended up with Helios not being a part of the season. So he's here now, and that's the main thing.
I mean, I'm happy to blame Wanzi for that.
Oh
You
yeah,
know what,
so
no,
true,
I'm
true,
happy to
yeah.
blame, I'm happy to blame Dom Fanatic. It's always Jack's fault.
You know what? That's also true.
That is also very true, yeah. We have got Goki joining us for this season.
I'm so excited for Goki.
I was going to say, he's been in this scene for a long time. I think since like Gen 8, maybe even Gen 7. So it's about time we get him involved. We got Standard VR, who was going to be a part of the season if we were in singles. Unfortunately, we moved to VGC and they had something else planned. So they weren't a part of season 1, but they're here for season 2. Matrix, we have mentioned, he is the owner of VDL, if I remember rightly, which is my only previous experience, I'll say in air quotes, because I got my ass handed to me in VGC leagues. Zach Commander, again, he's been in literally every league that existed in Gen 9, so it's about time we get him in PPL as well. Tom is our one, because Trav left for this season, we had to have one Australian, so here's Tom. Then we have got Kaz, I think, is the last new coach. Forgive me if I've forgotten somebody. It's been a long day. And yeah, Kaz, again, has been somebody running a lot of leagues in Gen 9. And it's, again, just about time that we got him involved. So, lots of new faces. And then, of course, we've got a lot of the PPL originals. We've got lots of people returning from last season as well. I'm really excited for this. We've got new division names as well with Firemain and EELEVATE. To be fair, Electros not really part of the thing, but you know, it's not part of the logo, but it's a cool one. We'll include it because of that.
That.
And yeah, for our week 1 games, I'm not going to go through all of these. There's a lot going on. We do need to get into game 1 fairly soon, so
Not with that attitude. We can chill. We're chilling.
I can just see that my admins are freaking out on who's actually commentating for these games.
It's fine. Don't even worry about it.
Terrible. Yeah, so Alex has not realised that he is in fact commentating game 1, despite the
Shall
fact
I commentate
that
my own game?
I'm pretty sure that is the
one.
one that was locked in the soonest from memory. So
Yeah.
we're just really kind of keeping on with the super organised, everyone knows what they're doing sort of vibes. And Dave can't type, so everything's kind of just as it has always been.
What do you mean I can't type? I can type. I've done typing.
I saw rejig, and I just assumed that it was it was misspelled.
That was very much a word.
That's a
It's-
word.
It's a word, but when I looked at it, my brain was like, that's not what he's looking for. He's looking for something completely different.
I studied English. I know words. I know at least 7 words.
At least 2.
You are far more educated than most of us.
Great. It seems you will be commentating game 1 with Shrew, which will be interesting. So I've done the thing of closing my door, so I can't hear you talking shit. So yeah. Should we head into the game 1 matchup and I go yeet myself from the call?
I
we
think
certainly
that
could.
is a fine plan.
All right, gentlemen. I will see you on the other side.
It's a fine plan, Sunday. So, we'll go ahead and look at this matchup. It seems that I'm now commentating. That I've been thrown in. I'm not prepared. I'm flustered now. I sure as hell have not looked at this matchup properly. I have helped Eddie build a bit, but it doesn't mean I've looked at it.
I haven't looked at the matchup too much, but we're seeing it on screen right about now. It's the first of the weather teams. I say weather teams. There's a weather core going on there. Obviously, Eddie was first pick on this side of the draft, picking up the immediate round 1 Mega Metagross, which I think makes sense.
It does. I think that in draft it's going to be better than it is on ladder, and it's already good on ladder. So I think Mega Metagross is going to be somewhat of a defining mon for Ellie's season. However, I think we see this happen a lot, is that your top tier Mega doesn't always end up being the mon that pops off more than any other mon on your team, just because it is the focus of all the prep. So it'll be interesting to see how Ellie uses Mega Sceptile in particular, in my opinion. And she's got some things that I know she loves using. We saw how much Araquanid did last season. She may have had Rotom Wash last season, but she's used that mon a lot during Gen 9 at the very least. So it's very much an Ellie team, and it's got a lot of things that are very, very scary.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen Ellie use Rotom Wash a lot. She's used Araquanid a fair bit. There's a few nice cores she's got on there. I mean, Mega Sceptile has seen a decent increase in use, especially with Rotom forms, going with that kind of discharge lightning rod combo going on. We've got some pretty potent trick room action potentially, and then just a bunch of things that hit really hard. Big fan of Mamoswine over here. I'm actually really excited to see what Blaziken can do.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that Blaziken on paper should be able to do with coaching, speed boost, and baton pass being allowed in this league. There's definitely some room for some speed boost plus potential Swords Dance into that Mega Metagross, which will just nuke everything. There's also something I'm really interested to see how Ellie uses. It's going to be the Kangaskhan. I don't think I've ever seen her use it, but if I know Ellie, she'll really enjoy using that mon. But looking at Kaz's team, like you say, we've got the weather. I think this is something we're going to see a lot, just because it's kind of how the MB meta is shaken up. Is that we're going to see plenty of teams with either rain or sun on, a couple of potential sand teams as well with Tyranitar floating around, and yeah, no surprise that the Mega Swampert was picked up. Picked up round 2 with Sinister being the first pick on Kaz's draft.
I am all for that. I mean, you know as better than anyone how much I absolutely love Sinister. I think it's a demon. I'm going to put it out there, possibly one of the top, possibly the top redirector around.
I would agree.
Obviously, I think Follow Me is a better redirection move than Rage Powder, just because of the lack of effectiveness that it can have. But I think Sinister's the best user of redirection. Obviously, you've got Hospitality through supporting that as well. I love seeing Electric Terrain Dance. That's my OG. That's my jam. With
that's the wrong Raichu, unfortunately.
Oh, that's not the one that causes electric terrain. Well,
that's a little bit later. I believe we've got the Electric Terrain Dance. You can get more excited later on.
I will be excited.
Just
for
edging yourself for now.
Yeah. what I'm very excited to see is arguably my favorite Pokemon to have used this regulation, which is a weird pick, I'm aware, but it's Lipards. I love using Lipards. It is underrated, and it is underappreciated. People don't respect the Lipard when you're running it, and it can do all sorts of nasty things. It's a strong back half as well. Salazzle is a mon that I never respected myself, but having seen what it could do, especially last season in the hands of Kason, I believe it was, got incredible value out of Salazzle. Then you've got stuff like the Dragonite, which is obviously big threat. Espathra, we saw Linz used to incredible effect last season, I believe it was, or that might have been MVPCL, but she got great value out of it. The round 6 Staraptor is interesting.
Yeah, so something to note here is that firstly, strong back half was my name in high school, but also Staraptor went round 6 in both drafts. So see, there's something there that people have seen. I think it's the Choice Scarf Final Gambit opens up a lot of kind of avenues for certain mons, and especially with this Rain team getting rid of maybe, for example, on Ellie's side, either the Rotom or the Mega Sceptile could be really handy in that game 1. Just to be able to immediately threaten one of the biggest things to that Rain core. Likewise, could be used to take out the Mamoswine, so the Raichu can just click Discharge or Zap Cannon. Again, Mega Sceptile could be there to prevent those kind of shenanigans from going on, but Discharge is still going to hit whatever the other mon is on the field. Yes, it gives the special attack boost to the Sceptile, but certainly someone like a Araquanid will not enjoy taking that hit.
Yeah, another thing with that Scarf Final Gambit is it sets in play another potential mode for Kaz, something that we've seen a bit on the ladder as well, is that Scarf Final Gambit Staraptor next to a Trick Room setter. Yeah. So you just get a big threat out of the way, Sinister can then set Trick Room to bring in one of those like threats like Electros, Machamp, or even, hello to Agronize in the chat, Aggro, which can be incredibly effective. And I think it was actually Kaz who's already gotten some amazing use out of Aggron. Again, it was MBBCL. He sometimes live streamed his games. I went along to one of those, and Aggron was just taking names in that game. So it's something that he's very comfortable using and has gotten very good value out of. And with this kind of potential Trick Room next to Final Gambit mode that his team can do, is something else that Ellie will need to bear in mind, along with the Rain and the potential just big hitters that he's got going on.
Yeah, and I think another avenue as well for Kaz would be the Espathra. Same with Ellie with her Blaziken. The Speed Boost plus Baton Pass is an option. And yeah, we're actually going to go into our game now. We'll see whether or not anything we said made any sense, but let's go ahead and join the battle. Hopefully, if Champions was to work.
we shall see. All right, so we've got the Araquanids, Rotom Wash, Mega Meta, Kangaskhan, Cofagrigus, and Mega Sceptile going up against Politoed, Sinister, Mega Swampert, Lipard, Mega Raichu, and Staraptor. I think fair to say a lot of expected things. You're going into week one, you want to start running some of your strongest modes, and looks like they're both going for that off rip.
Yeah, I mean, Ellie's only got 9 Pokemon as it is, so the 6 are probably going to be fairly predictable in a certain matchup. But Kaz has definitely opted, it looks like, very much for the rain mode. I wouldn't be surprised to see like a rain dance on a Lipard to try and make sure that the Swampert has its rain active at all possible times. And of course, with the Sinister support, it's going to be very difficult to take down that Swampert.
Yeah, but on the other hand, if you look at Ellie's potential Trick Room here, it doesn't look like Kaz has brought much of a Trick Room mode himself. So if Ellie can potentially take advantage of that with Cofagrigus and Araquanid, with rain-boosted hits on the Spider, that could be doing a lot of damage with just the couple of resists that Ellie can try and deal with in other ways.
Yeah, and as we know already, Araquanid hits so hard that even resists struggle to take that. In the rain, it's going to be a big owl.
Yep, absolutely. But we're going to be able to get into it. Let's see what we're leading with. It's going to be the Lipard and the Swampert on Kaz's side, going up against the Kangaskhan and the Mega Sceptile on Ellie's. A couple of interesting things there. We're not seeing any immediate, like, this is a mode they are running. I guess Lipard could be rocking out with Prankster Rain Dance. That is potential for Swampert to take advantage of, and gives another Rain user if Ellie wants to run Counter Weather. Could be seeing Fake Out on both sides into those Gen 3 Mega Starters, perhaps.
Yeah, I've just realised we do have the Gen 3 Mega Starter matchup. But I also have 2 things to note. Firstly, that Kaz does not have nicknames on his Pokemon and therefore has immediately lost the game. But I guess we'll play for second here. And that the potential for an Ice Punch into that Mega Sceptile as it Mega Evolves is very, very scary for Ellie. She does have to play around that. We might see a Fake Out into the Swampert.
I would think that's probably the safest way to go. I think Ellie can very easily double target Swampert here. With Fake Out and Grass Stab. That would probably be the safest play, depends on what the Lipard wants to do. It's going to be Protect, that's also fair, just in case something nasty happens. And Protect on the Swampert. So mirroring those Gen 3 Mega Starters is exactly what they're doing. Fake Out Lipard is going to be protected. Are we going to see Fake Out into Swampert protected as well? No, it's just straight up Double Edge.
Well, good turn everyone. We got exactly 0 progress. So I guess at this point, we're probably going to see the Rain Dance. I don't know if we'll see the Sceptile stay in just because of the fear of the Ice Punch. But I would have thought that Kaz has kind of got the upper hand at this point. But we're going to have to see. Maybe it doesn't have the Ice Punch. Maybe Eddie has got something somehow cooking on this Sceptile to be able to live one.
I mean, it's possible. Ellie's a very, very good builder. We've seen it historically all the time. It could be the Prankster Rain Dance. We could see a hard switch into Politoed. That is another thing that we've seen. Is pretty much the bread and butter of weather teams. And it's going to be the switch out on Mega Sceptile. Yeah, good play on Ellie's part. Doesn't want to take that risk. Cofagrigus is a fairly safe switch in. And this could be really useful if that Swampert has targeted into the Cofagrigus. Because that's going to get rid of the Swift Swim.
It is, and it's going to be an Ice Punch.
There it
It's
is.
not going to do too much, but it is going to get the freeze, which of course is nerfed in this in Champions, but it doesn't make it any less brutal if you don't happen to get the immediate 4.
Yeah, that's very tough indeed. Obviously, like you say, freeze has been nerfed, so we can get out of that with the Cofagrigus. The most important thing is that it has gotten rid of that Swift Swim. So the Swampert, it's still probably bulky enough to tank any given hit from this Kangaskhan. Getting the Circle Throw off into Politoed is actually quite nice, revealing a lot of the team, and you know it hinders what they can do about resetting rain if it comes to that. Protecting on the Double Edge, are we going to see the Thor? Icy Wind, gonna lower that speed, so good speed control even without the Swift Swim. We do see the Insta Thor, that's really useful, and it's Shadow Ball, going to be protected on the Swampert.
Yeah, fantastic protect on Kaz's side there, predicting the double into it. I'm wondering just in the back of my mind whether or not this Politoed is in fact Water Absorbed to try and take on that Araquanid. As we're going to see an ally switch come out for Ellie.
Yeah, nice play. We've seen a lot of ally switching going on. Is that going to be called at this point? doesn't look like it. I would imagine that was just going into the cat. Jesus, that is just gone.
It just didn't matter. You could be as bulky as you want on that Cofagrigus. You're still dying to a wave crash in the rain. This mon is absolutely ridiculous. You see a muddy water into the Kangaskhan, which is also going to take a good amount, and the accuracy drop. However, Ellie still hits the double edge. That Swampurt's going to take a good chunk of damage, as Mummy is just getting passed around.
Yeah, everyone is... no, hang on. No, I'm not going to say what I was going to say. That seems like a bad idea. But the Sceptile can come in here. Now that Swift Swim is gone off the Swampert, I think it's fair to say that the Swampert is probably switching out. I do like what you said there about potential Water Absorb on the Politoed. Like, that's the interesting interaction with that Circle Throw. We're not going to know until it's sort of potentially too late.
Yeah, and I was going to say maybe Ellie goes for a Protect here to scout for the Protect on the Swampert, just to make sure that there's no Icy Wind and potentially makes her slower, as, yeah, that would certainly be one huge downside to this turn if she managed to get that -1 speed. Rotom is really not going to care too much about it, but we still haven't seen the last mon on Kaz's side, so potential for that Raichu in the back with the Lightning Rod.
Yeah, but Ellie's actually repositioned well to put Kaz in a difficult position, because that Swampert is still slower than the Sceptile. She's now got that Discharge Lightning Rod on deck, and she can target into the Swampert with Sceptile and not worry about it being immune to the Discharge. And Kaz is forced to make that switch. It is going to be the Sinistra coming in. That makes sense. Doesn't need to do any healing. Going to be a Dragon Pulse. That does so much damage to Sinistra. That's really good damage into Cine. And it is Discharge. Excellent repositioning by Ellie.
Yeah, but at the same time, there is still going to be that Mega Swampert in the back that will no longer be mummied. So when it comes back in, it will be the fastest thing on the field. Especially with that Icy Wind going through, it should actually be quicker than Mega Sceptile, potentially even without the rain being up.
Yeah, it certainly is going to be, but the rain is now gone. So Ellie has been able to see out those rain turns very nicely, and now we're going to see if there's any more rain dancing going on the Politoed side, for example. It's possible, especially if it is that Water Absorb set, but I think Ellie is still in a fairly strong position. Nothing is immediately threatening the Mega Sceptile that's on the field right now. Rage Powder going to come in from the Cine. I would imagine that the attacks would have been targeted into the Politoed here. Yeah, there's Giga Drain and it's Rindo Berry. Of course, it can't be redirected because of being a grass type. This is looking to be another discharge from the Rotom, getting good health back onto that Sceptile. And now, if we can see a discharge take out the Politoed, then Ellie's going to be in an excellent spot right now.
Yeah, I mean, it just comes down to whether or not this Mega Sceptile does have the speed, because it should be able to outspeed a Mega Swampert, even a -1, depending on her investment. If it's not fast enough, these discharge boosts are just not going to matter at all. But we'll have to see, because, yeah, Kaz is going to play it safe, just going to get this rain back up.
Yeah, he was in a tough position there because he can't get Lipard and Swampert onto the field at the same time. I think he has to go for the rain dance here. I don't think that Ellie's given him much of a choice in the matter. Sinistra is looking fairly done for, but there is every chance that Swampert could be able to pull this one back, although the Rotom is still at very good amount of health.
I was about to say, this Rotom, I think, is probably going to be the big kind of thorn in Kaz's side here. I actually can see Ellie switch, so not wanting to risk anything. I expect we'll probably see a Dragon Pulse come out into the Sinistra just to finish it off. And then playing just to keep that Rotom alive, so Swampert hopefully will not be able to do enough. Actually going to see it into the Lipard instead.
That's interesting, but I mean, respecting the possibility of Lipard going for like Encore shenanigans to make sure that the Sceptile can't like launch super effective attack into the Swampert. But it's like you say, I think Rotom is looking like the most important piece right now, and Ellie doing the right thing of making sure she keeps it at as much health as possible. But she does have Fake Out on deck here with the Kangaskhan. That could go into the Swampert, who is almost forced to protect on it.
Well, I think it's here, the Rage Powder will prevent that from happening, so we will most likely see a fake out come out, but it will be into the Sinister, and it's probably going to be Sceptile dropping. The issue that Ellie has got now is that she cannot take a match of Gotcha with her Rotom, otherwise the Swampert will just beat her. And I have a feeling that this Rotom is going to take too much damage anyway.
Well, we're going to find out exactly how bulky it is as it comes straight in. There is the fake out going into the Sinister. It is, of course, scrappy. It is going to be Ice Punch into the Rotom. That's not going to do a whole huge amount of damage. And the Sinister, of course, is going to flinch. So Rotom is looking like the linchpin here. I think that this is very possibly just any kind of attack. I mean, realistically, Ellie can just double target into the Swampert because the Sinister's going down to the first hit that comes into it if it Rage Powders.
That is very true. Actually, going to see a Sucker Punch come out. It's not going to do enough into the Swampert. So we're going to see a Rock Slide. Okay, well, I didn't have Rock Slide. A flinch here could be absolutely devastating.
Yeah, and that's the kind of out that Kaz has to play for. Not going to get it. It is going to be Volt Switch. Just take out the Sinister. Make sure that Rotom doesn't take any Matcha Gotcha damage. Good play from Ellie. And now it is Rotom and Mega Sceptile. We get a Volt Switch. That's quite entertaining. It's going to come right back on the field. On the other side, those big switching upside mind games continuing even after the Ally Switch user has gone down.
I mean, this...
the Ally Switch user.
Sean Connery has entered the chat. This leads to a very interesting situation. If that Rotom was Choice Scarf, then the fact that it's switched out could be potentially game-winning. I think the play here has to be Rock Slide and hope for a flinch.
I think it might well be, unless you want to take the ultimate risk of Ice Punching the Sceptile and hoping for a Hydro Miss.
That is also very true, but if there's any other move on this Rotom, then it's kind of just done. Predicting the Protect, I think, on this turn goes into the Rotom, but Wave Crash Recoil, I believe, should do enough to take out the Swampert. So going out on its own terms, and Ellie is going to be able to win game 1.
Yeah, I respect going out on your own terms. When the chips are down, you can at least take solace in that fact. But a close 1-0 win, Ellie coming out on top in game 1. So we saw a few good modes there, but I think Ellie has gotten some really useful information on Kaz's team. Knowing that there is that Prankster Rain confirmed is very useful knowledge for her to have.
Absolutely, and I think that one bit of knowledge she probably would have liked to have had going into this second game is whether or not that Politoed is Drizzle or whether it's Water Absorb. It would certainly be very useful, because I wouldn't be surprised if you see the Araquanid on this third round.
Yeah, I would think so. I think Araquanid would be possibly the one change Ellie makes. What do we think Kaz is going to do differently here, if anything? Are we going to see the Raichu coming out? Knowing that there's Lightning Rod going on, it's under threat if that's what Kaz chooses to do.
Yeah, I mean, another option could well be that Staraptor. We did say about the potential Choice Scarf Final Gambit. If there is a certain one yep, close enough, one threat on Ellie's team that Staraptor can take out, it could open up that Swampert later on in the game. Like we said, something like the Rotom going down could be huge.
And we would be able to say, "Be gone, Throt."
Indeed, we could.
If that happens, which, I mean, that pleases me if nothing else. I do think that it would be. Go on.
No, I was just saying, me too. I would very much enjoy.
Very nice.
Be gone, Throt.
Yeah, I do think that if that is Final Gambit Raptor, then it's going to want to take care of the Rotom, because that really was the problem child for Kaz in that match. I think he had other stuff, in theory, handled to an extent, but going to make the hard rain lead, and now we're going to get confirmation as to whether it is Drizzle. It is, in fact, Drizzle, as we see a debut of the Mega Metagross on Ellie's side, but not its best matchup here, I would say.
Well, it depends, because this could be a fantastic bait for the first turn, especially if Kaz is not feeling particularly like he's in trouble. If this Metagross happens to have Grass Knot, that is Tough Claws boosted and will probably do enough to just one-shot a Swampert. So
that's true. That is very true. I think we might potentially see a switch out directly into Sinister, because, of course, the other thing, if that thing is just ridiculously offensive and decides to go boom, then something's going to get hurt, especially if we want to see a Protect on the Kangaskhan. I would imagine it's going to be Fake Out, and Grassknot could be a really interesting call on your side there. It's going to be a hard protect from non-Mega Ring Swampert.
Yeah, so scouting potentially to see whether or not it has it, but it's a Psychic Fangs into the Politoed, and that does so much damage. Good lord. And the double, unbelievable read from Ellie on turn 1, protecting the Protect, and just KOing Politoed like that.
That is a generational call out turn 1. If she can see out the rain and there is no Lipard, then Ellie's going to be in a really solid position. But we do see the Staraptor. This, I think, is where Ellie might decide to start protecting things. I think she's certainly going to want to scout for that final gambit. But when you've lost your rain setter turn 1, can you afford to just give away your Staraptor, even if it is in return for something else on your opponent's side?
I mean, it's a tough question, and it's one that Kaz has to really think about. Because if you do go down 2v4 on a potential mon that has enough health to be able to live a final gambit, you put yourself in a really bad position on this turn. But we could very well see a final gambit into an Earthquake to try and deal with that. We're going to see the Metagross switching out.
Well, she's covering for it. If he wants to go into the Mega Metagross, then that's not going to do anything to the Cofagrigus. Also covering for potential Mummy shenanigans if the Swampert wants to go for a rain-boosted Wave Crash. We're going to find out. It's going to be Sucker Punch. A little bit of chip damage into the Swampert is always nice. And it is Final Gambit. Brilliant scouting from Ellie. Once again. Here comes the Wave Crash, though.
And that is a very dead Kangaskhan, but also one does not simply Final Gambit in Pride Month. It is a common knowledge, but that Swampert has taken more recoil damage from killing the Kangaskhan than Kangaskhan dealt with the Sucker Punch.
That is true. It is going to be the Metagross here. Do we think that this Metagross has more HP? I would imagine that Ellie has covered for this. I feel like it's going to have more hit points. But I think doubling into the Metagross is going to be the way that Kaz goes here. And we're going to see, yep, Final Gambit into the Metagross. Are we going to see an Earthquake here or a Wave Crash? It's Wave Crash. It is into the Staraptor. That's not a Staraptor, that's a Cofagrigus.
They're basically the same Pokemon.
I would have to agree. I mean, yeah, they're both floating, so basically it. So Citrus Berry coming through on the... Ooh, that's an interesting play.
Huge turn from Ellie. It's 2 turns left of rain. There's a good chance that this game won't last long enough for Kaz to be able to try and work his way around and get this Swampert back in, especially with the amount of health that it's at. And that Staraptor is now the slowest thing on the field.
It is, but also, of course, the Swampert doesn't have its Swift Swim anymore. So I'll be interested to see how this Trick Room affects the speed tiering, as we see some hospitality from the Sinistra come in. The Cofagrigus is going to be going first. Swampert's going to protect, knows that he needs to try and scout out what Ellie's going to be doing. Shadow Ball, obviously that's not going to do anything. What has the Metagross done? It's gone for Ice Punch.
Fantastic read
good
once
coverage
again.
there.
And yeah, I mean the Ice Punch
into the Staraptor.
Yeah, Ice Punch hits the Staraptor. It hits the potential Sinistra. The one thing it wasn't going to hit is already gone. So yeah, just a great play from Ellie. And now, like you say, the Swampert is going to be potentially slower than the Metagross at this point. So Ellie may have to kind of protect and work her way around this, but she's just going to switch. I don't even have time to finish my sentence.
I think she's predicting the Earthquake here. It's going to be Shadow Ball into Kasib Berry Sinistra. So it'll probably live this hit. It's probably got enough in the tank to do so, and it does. So Sinistra's going to live that one on barely a smidgen of health. It's going to be Strength Sap into the Rotom. It's not going to get a huge amount of health back from that, so another good switch on Ellie's side, covering for a multitude of sins. And it is going to be a Wave Crash into the Cofagrigus. That is going to go down.
Yeah, I mean, this game is now very finely balanced. Kaz has really brought himself back into this game after losing his Politoed turn 1. Now this Trick Room may come back to haunt Ellie. She doesn't really want it up.
Yeah, that is looking like a potential problem with the Sinistra on the field and Swampert outside of rain. Because the Sinistra is one of the few things that can reliably take on that Rotom, and we still do have that Scarfed Staraptor in the back that can do some damage. So Now we're going to see how much this Metagross has invested to take on a Mega Swampert.
And even in this situation now, Kaz has still got that Staraptor in the back. It will be the fastest thing once that Trick Room ends. And it can just click Final Gambit as long as he's got a Pokemon alive. But we're going to see the match of Gotcha. It's going to miss on the Rotom. That is huge.
That's massive.
And do we see a burn? Burn on Mega Metagross could be equally as big. But we're not going to see the burn. It's going to be a Wave Crash, I assume, into the Metagross. It's not going to do enough damage outside of the rain. And now Ellie has got 2 attacks she can throw off here.
Big Ice Punch into the Sinistcha. It's not quite going to take it out, but it gets a freeze, a revenge freeze from an Ice Punch. And here comes the Hydro Pump. That is going to take out the Sinistcha. So the freeze not mattering so much. And now it comes down to a 2v2, but that's Staraptor is still around. And you have to think that this is going to be Final Gambit into Rotom.
There's a good chance. By a good chance, I think it's almost a definite. However, if Ellie has got Protect on both of these Mons, there could very easily be a double Protect angle here. The Trick Room ends, and if he Final Gambits, then that Swampert is going to be slower than Metagross, and Metagross should see out the game.
Of course, the other option is for... I was going to say the other option is to just double into that Staraptor, because they still had one turn of it being the slowest thing on the field. But it's just going to be a single Protect. I think that this is going to be potentially Final Gambit. Oh, she's going to weaken that Final Gambit. Oh, that does a huge amount of damage.
It's a massive crit.
That's a big crit. And this is
I
going
mean,
to do nothing.
The Final Gambit is going to do 5%. And, I mean, even without the crit, it wasn't going to do enough to take it out. Ellie has played this to end the Trick Room, and I think this game is done. Barring some incredible situation in which Kaz is able to Rock Slide flinch this out.
Yeah, unless Ellie decides to set up the rain for him, I think that that this is pretty much over. It is going to be a Hydro from the Rotom. Fastest thing on the field, into the Swampert. That's going to take down the Mega Swampert. A 2-0 win for Ellie in Game 2. And that is going to see her take the whole game in a 2-0 winning result.
Yeah, fantastically well played by both coaches. I mean, turn 1 from Ellie really put Kaz on the back foot, but he managed to scramble his way back and actually put himself in a really good position. But Ellie, once again, shows how good she is, why she made playoffs last season, able to course correct once again in that game and just see it out with what I would assume is Choice Scarf Rotom.
Yeah, certainly looks like it. Really, really excellent play from Ellie, because there were moments across those sets where Kaz had maneuvered himself into a really good spot, and Ellie was able to play around the rain and some Trick Room coming back to bite her and reposition herself really effectively into some of his biggest threats. And speak of the devil, here she is. Ellie, talk us through it. How's that go?
Well, I never got to click Grass Knot on my Metagross, which I'm unbelievably sad about. But I guess Rotom was like, nah, I'd win. About just hitting every single pump under the universe, I guess. It's just built. I'm just built differently. What can I say?
I mean, that was no going into the game.
Certainly seems so.
The Trick Room was kind of. I kind of realized I was like, wow, it doesn't have. It's got Mummy, so I've kind of actually just helped the Swampert. So I kind of had to kind of dance around that mid game, but I just did it with enough. And now my monitor's not reconnecting, which is not what you love to see.
That is slightly unfortunate.
But yeah, no, that was a really fun set. It was fucking terrifying because, I mean, Jack, you built with me, like Shreem, I'm sure you saw my chat as well. But like Final Gambit Raptor was such an issue in prep that I'm really glad that I brought Cavagus and I adjusted to have the Metagross in Game 2 as well, because I thought he'd maybe bring something to counter the Sceptile, which was like, what's like Staraptor's surely got to make an appearance here. So I'm really happy with my Game 2 adjustments. But yeah, it was risky because with the Kangaskhan, like I feel like I played it almost too aggressive, but it really worked out on that turn 1, just murdering that Politoed. So yeah, really happy with that. I think.
Getting Politoed out turn 1 was very much an incredible read. Like, when you're 1-0 down in a series, you want to start strong into Game 2, and being able to read that protect and just hard going into the Politoed, get that off the field, because that puts so much more pressure onto Kaz, because now your rain turns are so limited and you have no way. I mean, there was no Lipod in that game, so there's no way, I think, of getting the rain back up. I do want to give the props to Kaz, because there were moments, like we said, where you managed to reposition yourself. Kaz did the same. Like, there were times there where Kaz was really able to reposition well and put you under threat, which then you were able to come back from. It was a very back and forth game. I do think we need to talk about a bit of an elephant in the room there. The Matrigotcha miss was very tough.
That was incredibly fortunate for me, because, you know, had he got that off, Sinister would have become quite problematic. let's just say that. But yeah, that's an extremely fortunate turn to be. I'm not going to sugarcoat that. He got very fortunate, but yeah, just kind of the game we played. I think if he does connect, we'll go to a game 3, because he would have recovered so much health.
And Rosen had been in a really, like, probably even then in range as well.
Yes, absolutely. You're absolutely correct, because I was quite an offensive Rosen choice for that, and not much expendable. So yeah, I absolutely would have been murdered. So really unfortunate for Kaz. And it would have been interesting to see, you know, kind of adjustments both would have made in game 3. So yeah.
Do you think we would have seen a Rackwood if you'd gone in 3?
Honestly, yeah, probably. Rackwood, you know, with the wild as well, because we saw rock sliding game 1. So, you know, when they were able to touch just one part, or wasn't able to touch the other. And I do wonder if Rackwood would have made an game 3 as well. I'm just looking at his pace. Yeah, he had a blurring voice on it for the September course. So it would have been interesting to kind of see, you know, how that would have played out as well. But yeah, super close. Like, I definitely think, you know, Kaz was literally one turn away from a game 3, so it's just unfortunate. It's just the way it went down.
So I'm just noticing the chat. Oh no, it's okay. Kaz was informing us there was a bit of static audio, but apparently it seems good now.
I think it'd just be that way sometimes. I don't know why. I have no answers.
It could be how it do.
But sometimes you just gotta deal with some static. But
sometimes it is that way.
It's the trick room. The trick room in game 2 was certainly a bit of a turning point, in that it kind of put yourself on the back foot. But
it did, yeah. As soon as I clicked it, I was like, oh no, why have I done this? I've already got the speed control. I just put the game into his favor. So I was like, oh shit, how do I play around this now?
Yeah, but I mean, you played around it very well, and yes, the match miss definitely helped get that repositioning down, like, to a perfect position. But in the end,
I actually thought the trick room, like, in my mind, I was like, I need to outspeed the Strapster. Like, that's why I wanted to go for trick room as well. Like, in my brain, like, the threat wasn't Swampert, right? Like, don't get me wrong, it's a big threat. But my Meta Rose was always EV to 1v1 it, no matter what kind of investment it had or what coverage it had. Meta Rose could always live one of anything, and then Oko with the Grass Knot. So at that point in the game, it was like Staraptor is the biggest threat right now to my team. So I want to try and kind of control that absolute demon.
And sorry to cut you off. I believe that in game 1 we saw all 4 of Swampert's moves as well. So it had no way of actually, well, I say no way of hitting it. Wave Crash still would have hit hard, but it didn't have high horsepower or Earthquake to be able to hit you super effectively. So certainly the Metagross switch up in the game 2 was a very good one. And I think in game 1 it definitely came down to Sceptile being a very awkward position on a lot of turns, in which it didn't want to take the Ice Punch, so it didn't really want to stay in. It did put things in the back in a bit of a dangerous kind of, like, if he makes this prediction, I lose a Pokemon sort of place. But at the same time, you just had enough pieces in the end to be able to see out the end game. And Sceptile was somehow living through the entirety of game 1. Didn't have that on my bingo card.
No, certainly not. But I mean, I'm just happy Sceptile got to do something. A lot of people were like, why do you want to use this mon so much? It's actually quite good. It's surprisingly pretty good. So yeah, I'm happy I kind of drafted around it. And I don't have the best team in the world. Like, I've only got 9 mons, but you know, everyone has a job on the team, and I feel like this week has kind of showcased that. So yeah, I'm excited to go forward with the rest of the season as well, and I'm excited to see what Kaz does with the team as well, because his team was a nightmare to prep for, because you see he has all of the slots in the world, and you think, these low tiers are going to do fucking nothing, and then you start calcing versus the low tiers, and I'm like, why are these more problematic than the high tiers? So
yeah, I
to see
mean,
where it goes with it.
I was saying before the game, like looking over Kaz's team and especially at those lower tier mons. I watched a stream of Kaz in NBBCL using Agron and just destroying people with it. Like,
yeah,
this is a man who has got an incredible use out of Agron and other lower tier stuff. Knows how to use them really well and can get incredible value when they do come to the games. This obviously wasn't a game it came to. You want to start off with a really stuff like that Agron and indeed that Machamp. Can really come in clutch in future games.
Yeah, it's kind of the duality of a draft, a 9 versus 12. And Ellie's team is 9 mons, but all 9 mons have a role, and they're all generally pretty strong mons, whilst there's some more niche picks on Kaz's draft. But again, they all have their roles, and they play it perfectly. So it should be a really interesting season for both coaches, to see if there's any kind of, like, is one draft better than the other? Is one style of having more top tiers better than having these lower tiers? Then maybe patch up quite a few holes in roles or even typing.
Yeah, I personally enjoy seeing some lower tier stuff. I know that it's kind of a departure for you, Ellie, because you do like to take a couple of lower tier picks here and there usually.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
I've always been kind of a low tier enjoyer, but unfortunately, I think picking up Mega Metagross, obviously round 1, is gonna eat a lot of your budget, and trying to build around that to support it is also gonna eat away at a lot of your budget. So I learned that the hard way, but also I really like the team that I've drafted. It's tricky to build with, but once you kind of get a team down, and it's just finding that kind of strategy, and it's just like once you nail it, it's just like, oh, that feels so good.
100%.
I can kind of unclench, as we were.
You can.
Yeah,
and in
what? I
fact-
got my win.
You did.
That's all I need.
It's always good to start strong. Obviously, we've still got 6 seasons left. 6 seasons? 6 weeks
seasons?
left.
Good.
Yeah, we're playing 6 seasons in a row, guys. So strap yourselves in.
On
we've still
the
got.
stream as well.
Yeah, this stream is going to go for like 4 months, I would think. So make sure you've got a cup of tea or coffee or something, because you might need it. Yeah, no, we've got 6 weeks left of the regular season, so a loss week 1 is not like season defining, obviously. And when you've got certainly a player with a team like Kaz, 1 loss does not define where the season's going to go. Like you said in the chat, hoping to bounce back. I have every faith that you'll be able to.
Oh, 100%. Especially such a capable player as well, and the fact
Yes.
that both sets were 1-0s, like incredibly close games.
Yeah.
You could absolutely bounce back from that, especially with the team that you have as well. Like, it's a really strong team, and having to prep for it, like, your opponents will want to like bite their table in frustration, because oh boy.
I mean, Ellie's got half a desk left, so.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's true.
I mean, I think
because I was frustrated, I just felt like fucking snacking on it,
as you do, yeah. I think I do have to fight Kaz at some point, like week 5 or 7. I'm already not looking forward to prepping for that match.
I mean, nobody is forcing you
Honestly?
to face it.
The schedule is. I can't say no to the schedule. That would have been like Trav saying no to the wheel when he did that to his team.
That is true.
It's just, yeah, you can, but should you? No. Karma will come back to bite. If, like, karmic retribution will be swift if that decided to happen. But yeah, like you say, you do get to relax now, Ellie, but not too much, because I believe you are on comms for our second game, if I'm not horribly mistaken.
Game, Pippin? I do be here. I do be queer. And I do be ready to commentate.
Unfortunately, you did win that game a little bit too quickly. We have a bit of downtime now until our game 2. But that is just the price of success, I guess. But getting that win in week 1 is always huge. I think there's like a lot of things to be said about if you lose your game one, you still got the rest of the season, which is entirely true. But I think getting that win in week one really kind of sets you up in good momentum, and also makes you enjoy the team more. In which I think enjoying a team might be one of the biggest factors in whether or not you do well in the season.
Absolutely, yeah, it does. Yeah, I've got to agree with you on that. Like, whenever you have a team that you don't quite gel with, or you think, oh, honestly, this is just a load of shite, like, team building just becomes a chore and, like, nothing is enjoyable. Like, even if you bring a fun tech, like, it just doesn't feel fun. It just feels like you're throwing because you can't be asked. But, yeah, when you have a team that you do enjoy and you've got pieces on there that are kind of your favorites, or, you know, you've tried, tested true, and, you know, use them quite a lot. Me with Roten, for example, like, you can think, actually, you know, I'm much more comfortable, like, maybe there's room for us to bring some silly things, and yeah, it's definitely a lot more enjoyable when you've got, like, a good team behind you.
Yeah,
sure.
I also feel like when you're not enjoying a team, you get into your own kind of mental block where when you start building with a team you don't enjoy, you're far more likely to look at some of your mons and immediately dismiss them because you're not gelling with them. And you might start overlooking a mon that you don't like or haven't gelled with that actually has a really good matchup, and you just dismiss it out of hand because you're like, well, I don't like it, therefore it's rubbish. So yeah, having a team that you really enjoy is of vital importance. And I think, like you say, you've got some pieces there. Mons that you've used very well in the past. Obviously, you talked about Roten Wash. We talk about Araquanid that we've seen you use a lot. And then you've got these other powerhouses. I don't think you've ever used Mega Metagross before. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I have not. No, this is actually
There you
my first
go.
time ever using it. So, big looking forward to it, and I'm really excited. I'm really glad I brought it to week one because I was so skeptical of it, but I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'll just bring it because I mean it's Metagross, like you kind of got to bring it.
There's
So-
never
Well, yeah,
a bad
that's the thing.
matchup for it.
Like at the start of that second game when Kaz led hard rain, and you obviously went with the Mega Meta. And I said immediately, I was like, Mega Metagross has had better matchups than this. And then it proceeded to just double into the Politoed and ruin its existence. So, you know, I was wrong on that one. And it's like you say, like, sometimes it is the case of this Pokemon may look at matchups and think it has better ones. But on the other hand, it's Mega Metagross.
yeah.
I think it's
Oh yeah.
a very similar situation to a Pokemon like Mega Floette. And in the past,
Yes.
in singles drafts like a Spectrier, or even an Urshifu single strike in the generation prior, and it itself may not be able to beat a team, but just having it on your draft immediately forces so much prep that there's 3 or 4 other mons on your draft that will immediately be better for that Pokemon existing, even if it doesn't do anything throughout the season. I know last season we had Trav with Mega Floette, who ended up winning the championship, and for the vast majority of the season was calling Mega Floette a fraud because it wasn't doing enough. But just the fact that it was on that draft allowed things like the Gallade and the Volcarona to really kind of pop off and do their own thing, because it just was so good into the things that checked Floette. And when you see a Floette, you bring at least like 2 or 3 checks to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is what I learned when I had Hont's team, and it was you guys actually that sort of taught me this, and it's a lesson that I've been trying to teach myself as well, which is it's exactly that. Just because a mon doesn't do so well into like 3 things, if it's still a really good mon, there's no reason not to bring it. And it was the same with Spectria. Like everyone's gonna immediately prep for it, so use that to your advantage. And that I think for me it was Iron Boulder that then took all the plaudits from it, basically.
Yeah.
That horse team had no right to be as good as it was.
It absolutely didn't. I got to quarterfinals with that team. I'm like, what am I doing here?
That is one of the things though, is that team was, we'll say, unorthodox, but at the same time it had a lot of things on it that really kind of allowed other pieces on that draft to work exceptionally well, especially Iron Boulder. Like that was the one that you kind of went crazy with. But
Yeah.
just in general, like having 4 fighting types when everyone wants to bring their dark type for the Spectria or wants to bring their normal type for the Spectria, it was just an incredibly difficult team to prep for. And yes, you had massive gaping weaknesses in the fact that you couldn't
Not where I
cover.
thought you were going with that.
It's not what most people do.
No, that's
What?
not. Especially with Dave.
Christ.
I told you that in confidence.
Well, now you know better. Um, but yeah, it just meant that like the team was incredibly difficult to prep for, and certainly I think a mon like Mega Metagross doesn't quite fit into the same category as a Floette because it has the ability to run any kind of coverage essentially and still be fantastic. It's still going to be that kind of main focal point on prep that might allow something like a Mega Sceptile or an Araquanid to really kind of pop off, because the ground types or fire types that are coming in for Mega Metagross are not going to appreciate hit a water bubble liquidation or just a general hit from Mega Sceptile, especially with Earth Power now in this generation or in the champions.
And that's one of the reasons with that Mega Metagross that I really enjoy that you drafted it alongside, we said Mega Sceptile, but also Rotom Wash, because if there's anything that wants to try and take on Mega Metagross, heavy chances are they don't want to take on that Rotom Wash Discharge Mega Sceptile combination.
Yeah, it's mainly obviously the bulky waters that are going to be stopping, you've got things like Milotic, and to an extent Prim, that's probably Cope. But yeah, you got some big bulky waters in this meta. Thankfully, I've got one of them in the Araquanid, but yeah, Metagross is going to struggle versus them, and fire types as well. Faster fire types are going to be a struggle, but with Washington by its sides, like it's gonna be fun. Like I definitely think it's a good partner, like you say. So I'm excited to use it. Really excited to use it. So.
As a Primarina main using that on ladder, I've run into Mega Metagross teams. It'll take one.
Yeah.
Just one. It'll take a hit. It'll take a hit, and then Hyper Voice does 23%, and I cry.
Yeah, Metagross is kind of silly. And the great thing about Metagross as well is like, yeah, you've got Mega Floette, which is obviously a powerhouse and a fucking nuke. You can't use it outside of Mega. Whereas the nice thing with Metagross is you are kind of able to use that outside of Mega. Granted, it's probably not optimal, but you can. It's the option is there. So.
Yeah, and it's interesting to see that kind of thought process going on with something as like defining as Mega Metagross, because usually we've seen in drafts of multi mega drafts, people will take their big main mega and then start to think, okay, what's a secondary mega that can function without mega evolving? But Mega Metagross kind of becomes the opposite there, where yes, it's going to want to be your main mega, but it is still a Metagross at the end of the day. And then you can start focusing on a really potent sort of secondary mega evolution that can really cover for those weaknesses. And like we say, Mega Sceptile looks to be one of the big ones to do that.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with my choices, because like 99% of the time you're gonna want to mega the Metagross because it's a fucking mega Metagross. Let's be honest, it's kind of a beast. But yeah, in kind of matchups like this one where Rain is quite threatening, Sceptile's got a niche there, especially with the prowess that Rotom held in this matchup. I was like, there's something there, so we'll try and give it a go, and it worked out. So yeah.
And especially because I know that when you were drafting, the draft wasn't entirely going to plan at times.
You could say that, yeah. You absolutely could say that.
I'm being nice for the chat. We'll say that things weren't going right. That many crash outs were happening, as I recall.
So very many crash outs.
A great many. It's the problem of the amount of people that we collaboratively team build together with, all being in the same division, wanting the same Pokemon, is difficult at times.
Wasn't great.
Yeah.
But we kind of fucking we kind of it is.
We
what
bought.
it is, right?
We know. We know.
We bought.
I will say that it was very difficult to draft in a situation where you want to avoid sniping people who are in the same front office as you, but also with the amount of coaches there are in division and a limited pool of mons,
you don't want to end up with a shit team.
Yeah.
You don't want to do a me and just end up with a shit team, and you look at you go into week one and you go, what have I done? Look at this first matchup and go, I have 2 Pokemon on my team. Okay, cool. But at the same time, there's also things that like there was a Sinister as a first round pick on Kaz's side. It makes a lot more sense when that is the only Pokemon that can do exactly what it does. There is no Pokemon like it, and if you want to be able to pick up a Sinister, most likely you're going to have to grab it in like a round 1 or an early round 2. And if you're early on in the draft, if you're first or second pick, it's going to be very difficult to get that Mon, and it's whether or not you want that utility that nothing else provides, or whether you just go for one of those big megas that is going to be like the central piece of your team. And with Kaz, obviously he went with, let's go with the supporting Mon first, and then was able to grab Megapert. You went for the opposite route and went for a Mega Metagross, but wasn't able to necessarily grab like a top tier support Mon to go alongside it. Not saying that Rotom Wash isn't, but like a Sinistcha or maybe even like a Mousehold would have been something that you would love to have had alongside one of those big kind of defining metas, megas even. Speaking of defining, we are now joined by one of the defining voices in Pokemon commentary, Onesie Baynet.
That's me.
Welcome.
Hello.
Yeah.
That is you.
How's it going?
That's the one nice thing I'll say.
Wow, that's about as good as I deserve, to be fair. It's going good. I'm absolutely shattered. I've done a 7 till 7 today, and it was a very busy day, but I'm very happy to be here, hoping to commentate on some pretty freaking good games.
Yeah, I was going to say, are you excited to commentate for Game 1, which you're in time for?
Hey, that one's not on me. I'll take no blame for that.
Well, you're going to be kept very busy today because I know you're on commentary for this one and another game. Of course, you have your own game that's happening. How are we feeling about that one?
Oh, that one's a scary one for me because my opponent, Tom, is someone who I've got a bit of history with. When I played Tom, last time I played Tom anyway, was in VDL finals back when it was VDL and not NBA. And it was a very, very close game, very back and forth, decided ultimately by a turn 1 crit on their side. So
no,
I've got to come out here and I've got a point to prove with this one. So yeah, exciting time.
just crit in turn 1, just easy. It's just not hard, is it?
There we are. That's it. You've revealed my strategy now.
Now Tom's got time to prepare for
it. With 2 Shell Armor Mons on the lead, yeah. I mean, like,
easy.
how foolish of you to give away your strats.
Shit, my bad. Tom, my PayPal is Can I get a girl up? No, on the real though. We're coming up to game 2 here now, finally, after a little bit of downtime since that was no game. That should have been a game 3. That should have been a game 3, but I robbed this man of a game 3. So Kaz, I'm very sorry. But shall we head into the game 2?
We do still have a little bit of time, and I don't know if both coaches are awake and around. I'm going to ping them in a second, but just in case they're not, we won't go straight into the matchup and talk about it for like half an hour.
Fine.
But
I guess we'll keep rambling about
I
stuff.
did want to ask, Alex, this is your first draft in Pokemon Champions for VGC as well. How did you find drafting in Champions with the limited pool, and also with the change from singles to doubles? How did that affect like how you wanted to draft?
Was very much a learning experience. When I joined, I heard you talking about the difficulties of drafting as part of a front office, and yeah, in this limited pool with not many things actually available, especially when you're not trying to take something that someone else wants, it is very difficult to get a team that actually functions. I think I was very, very fortunate to be able to grab Annihilate and Mousehold, especially considering the prowess they had in previous generations. After that, it was just scrambling for things that can do things, you know, like just anything that isn't a complete dead weight. And even then, it was really tough to find things that I felt comfortable with, let alone things that I knew had pedigree in doubles. Because as you mentioned, I'm a singles player. I've been playing singles now for over a decade. That makes me feel terrible. So doubles is something I'm very, very new to, and you know, having to take quite a lot of liberties when it comes to drafting and just hoping that, you know, what I've done can do the trick is I've had to take a bit of a leap of faith with quite a few of these.
Yeah, and you mentioned Annihilate Mousehold. That is the one combo in Scarlet and Violet that I actually did try out myself in a draft, and I can confirm they were very good. Those two, along with Crocolaw, were my MVPs for the season.
Oh, we know who the true MVP was then, don't
The
we?
true MVP was 100% Crocolaw. It managed to beat a Tatsugiri Dondozo team in a game by itself. It was literally
Wow.
literally a 1v2.
That is impressive.
So, but Annihilate was my overall MVP, and it's full of things you would expect. The beat up into Rage Fist, which might be a little bit more tricky now with the way Rage Fist has been changed, but I still think that Annihilate is definitely around 1-1. It's definitely very scary, and yeah, beat up into it does mean that if you're running just like a fast set, that's a base 250 Rage Fist just immediately off the bat.
The thing with Annihilate as well is it's a mon that I've had a lot of success with in singles. I believe it was back-to-back finals using it, so it's something that I'm quite comfortable using, and I feel okay with my EV spreads on it, and every time I've had it, it's at least put in some kind of work. Even if it hasn't stole the show, it's at least traded 1-for-1 or done something. So I'm hoping that single success I've had with it can translate into doubles quite well.
Have you been obviously, so it's your sort of first drop back into doubles. Have you been running on the doubles ladder on Champions or Showdown or anything like that? How have you been finding that experience?
I have, yeah. In MA, I believe it was the last one, I got to Master Ball fairly quickly. This time around, I've only recently started laddering yesterday, and I don't think I've dropped a set yet. So, well, I say set, a match, but yeah, I think I'm okay on that front. I'm doing quite well, mainly just trying to ladder so I can get VP because this game's expensive.
So true. That is part of the reason why I ended up another league, not actually building a team for about 4 weeks, because I didn't have the real kind of want to ladder, but you kind of have to ladder to be able to get the VP. So I ended up in a position where I had no VP, but I had a game coming up. I was like, I'm just going to bring the same team, because I just don't have it in me to ladder. But it's not that I don't enjoy it. It's just that I think we need maybe potentially quicker changes in the meta, so more bonds getting added more frequently, or at least like new items coming in a bit more frequently, because the second round of MA felt very kind of samey, and facing the same kind of Megazard, Chomp, Gambit, Basque Legion teams, it does get a little bit wearing after a while.
It does, yeah. And I think what you mentioned there about, you kind of have to ladder, it's not even just that. It's you have to ladder with consistency. You have to ladder with the same team, because you can't be spending VP on trying to, chop and change your team to try and better suit the meta. You've got to try and do as little changes as possible so that you can stockpile as much VP as possible. And that becomes quite wearing. So I've just kind of stuck to doing Trick Room teams, because very fast paced, you can get a game over in like 4 or 5 turns for better or worse. So that's kind of what I've been doing. But yeah. it's definitely a bit of a grind now.
I've been doing pretty much the same. It's been just a Tyranitar team that I had from day one. The very first team that I built was like Tyranitar, Drill, Milotic, I think it was Mega Meganium, which I have swapped out for Mega Floette now. But it was literally just, I've run the same team now for 3 consecutive regulations, and it's done me well. It's made it to Master Ball every time. It's a team I'm very comfortable with, but I know that it's not a particularly amazing team. It kind of peaks at Master Ball, and then it doesn't go any higher. So it's it's one of those things where if you want to keep building and keep changing up your team consistently whilst also playing draft, that's almost an impossible thing to do, because you spend so much VP on new mons, and if you want to just fully change one mon from blank slate, it's like what, 2,000 VP, and getting the coaching tickets also takes a fair amount of time and a fair amount of games. So it's very much one of those things where it's very grindy. It's, if you don't have the time to put that in each week, I feel like doing like the Zachmander 20 drafts at one time thing is virtually impossible.
Pretty much, yeah. Unless you've got like your entire life to spend on it, which unfortunately a lot of us working people don't. Especially when it's become a bit easier, to be fair, now that it's on Mobox. When I'm at work and it's a bit quiet, I can just whip out my phone and play a couple of games. But yeah, it's definitely a little bit trickier to do multiple leagues.
Yeah, and speaking of Zach Bander, I believe that he'll be ready soon, so we'll go ahead and go into the matchup for our game 2. So Ellie should be coming back.
I am here.
Excellent news. I will leave yourself and Alex to discuss this matchup.
Thank you very much. Alrighty. So immediately, Nova, what are you smoking, homie? Because whatever that is, man, I gotta get up on that shit. Because what a whimsical team here. Not only do we have the 3 elemental monkeys, there's a toucanon and a sharpedo, and you know what? I could not be more here for it. In terms of the matchup, I mean, who cares about the matchup? There's 3 elemental monkeys on my screen. You know what I mean? Like,
you're goddamn right. I mean, Nova has absolutely been known. Nova's got a bit of a reputation for doing unconventional stuff with their drafts. And my lord, this is like the most Nova draft I've ever seen. This is like, I'd argue this is probably more unorthodox than the mono ice team they ran in PBA. That's incredible. I'm very excited.
Absolutely. In terms of actual analytical matchup, let's have a look here. Obviously, you've got the big threat of Mega Morwell, Mega Gengar, 2 incredible Megas back in Gen 6, and they still hold up to this day versus Mega Delphox and Mega Electros. So both new Megas on Zach's side. So it's going to be fun to see, you know, is Power Creep going to, you know, overcome the Gen 6 GOATs, or the Gen 6 GOATs still the GOATs? That's kind of what this matchup is going to come down to, but I'm definitely excited to see what kind of Mega's going to come out on top in this matchup. You've got, obviously, the Chomp versus Komoro matchup as well, 2 pseudos. Incineroar looks really good for Nova's side, you know, walling the likes of, you know, you've got Delphox there. Serena as well is going to shut down nicely. Aegislash to an extent. So it's definitely going to be a good defensive backbone for Nova here.
Yeah, this matchup does actually look a little bit more intricate than it first seems, because obviously Zach Bander's got some fantastic synergy on their side with obviously the Earthquake into the Electros. They've got Disquake with the Electros Garchomp. They've got the Levitate from the Delphox, which can obviously avoid side Earthquakes from Garchomp as well. But then you look at Nova's side and you do see some counters to the big threats. You've obviously got Sucker Punch from Mega Marwile. You've, as you mentioned, Ellie, you've got Incineroar, which can pretty much shut down most non-focus blasting Delphoxes. Komoro looks very decent into the matchup, but then you've got the Primarina as well, which can kind of wall that. But then you've got the Mega Delphox. It's like whichever Mega that Nova decides to go for here, it's got a decent matchup into the team here. And of course, that Sharpedo with the speed boost, while Delphox you would think has the speed advantage, if Sharpedo gets up to +1, it's got some decent coverage to threaten a lot of the things here. So I think we could potentially even see that showing up here. And we obviously can't count out my boy Toucan. And that thing, I'm so excited to see what Nova does with this.
I really hope he cooks with it.
I hope so.
With the weaknesses that, obviously, with Delphox, has got a great matchup into both the likes of, you know, Gengar and the Morwell, you know, obviously outspeeding and murdering both. We could be seeing a potential, you know, synergy from either, you know, Quick Guard on the Aegislash, or even just Queenly Majesty to take advantage of the fact that it can't get Sucker Punch from the Morwell. So it's definitely going to be tricky for Nova to navigate that Mega Delphox and how he wants to play around that. Like, obviously, Incin is kind of the immediate answer, but I don't know, with the Levitate, Gliscor can't come in and threaten it, and with his Water type being Toxapex and Simipour, you know, Simipour, it can maybe do something, but Toxapex, you know, gonna get blasted by a Psychic.
That Simipour absolutely murdered me because Nova had it last season. I think it was Dave and Dyer commenting on that one, and Simipour kind of wrecked me a little bit in that game, so don't count that motherfucker out.
You know what? I hope we see an appearance from Simipour today, if that's the case.
I hope we see all 3 of the monkeys.
We've just seen Gert put in the chat that Prim looks nasty, and you know what? I can't help but agree. Prim, maybe with like a Cabia Berry, can absolutely do some work against Nova's team. There's not much that wants to take a pump or a Hyper Voice outside of the Pex, and Pex's matchup here, it's really not looking great, is it? So yeah, no, Prim looking like a big threat.
the prevalence of the
Ob-
earthquakes from Garchomp, and obviously there's a Mega Electros as well there, which can really put some pressure onto Pex. You know, it can be, if that is what Nova goes to be the designated answer to a few things, the pressure on it is going to be very heavy to do that.
Absolutely. On stream.
Obviously, I'm not doing
up.
I'm not doing comms on this one, so my analysis is a little skewed. I was chatting to Nova during draft, and upon the monkeys, he said, and I quote, "If anyone snipes me, they're hate criming," which is so true. Frankie the Toucanon is like his old favorite. Obviously, Zach has Mega Delphox Prim, so he's already sold to me. Like I'm fully on board. I think Nova's Mega choice is going to be quite crucial here, and how Zach plays around that, because, like you say, the matchups into Nova's Megas do look fairly favourable for Zach. And before I mute to let you guys fully take over, the last thing I will say is Mr. Gavin's here, and if Mr. Gavin doesn't show up, there will be riots. Goodbye.
Mr. Gavin.
You know what? You know, before you said that, Dave, I was literally about to say, you know what? Mr. Gavin unironically looks kind of fire here.
Mr. Gavin,
Though it is an ice type. You know, you've got the I'm pretty sure it gets fake out. Am I spreading false information? I don't know. But you got the utility, you got screens. Freeze Dry also looks pretty good against this team. You know, you got the 3 water types, you got Psychic, which looks pretty much unresisted outside of, you know, the Komao. That's not what I meant to say. Outside of the Ensign and the Mawile, but like, I don't know, maybe we see Mr. Gavin do something. For those that are uncultured in the chat, Mr. Gavin is in fact Mr. Rhyme, of course.
No, that's not Mr. Rhyme, it's Mr. Gavin.
Of course. What was I thinking? Honestly.
Oh dear, this one, this one, I think we've basically said all that we can about it, other than, you know, this might just genuinely come down to player skill and skill expression. So when it comes to that, it could be either players.
Well, hopefully we'll get into the game soon. Sorry, Ali, I didn't mean to cut you off.
That's okay, I'm used to it.
We do be waiting for some for Nova to join. And hopefully it won't be too long, because otherwise you guys will be talking about this matchup in such thorough detail.
We might as well just build a team for him. Fuck it.
Yeah, just build for both of them and send them away.
It gives me time to build for my well, I say build to actually get my mons in game for my match later. Still not finished that yet, so take all the time you need. Take all the time you need.
You know what?
I know that feeling.
Why don't we give Alex a little bit of
some
grace so he can team build, and why don't we talk about the matchup together?
If
you've got the facilities for that, boss man.
I mean, there's only one Pokemon in this matchup, so it's quite a quick one to go over. Mr. Gavin just wins.
Well, I don't know, because there are 3 elemental monkeys and a Sharpedo and a Toucanon, so it kind of balances out.
The 3 elemental monkeys might come up to like half of a Mr. Rhyme in power. Sorry, Mr. Gavin, I misspoke. I do apologise.
Yeah, who are you?
Toucanon isn't really a Toucanon in Nova's hands. It somehow is usable.
Good.
In Nova's hands. So therefore it's no longer like a 1-pointer. It's actually maybe like a 2 or a 3-pointer.
I am interested to see if we'll see another Scarf Gambit Staraptor in this matchup as well, because Nova's not got the bulkiest team. Like, on paper, yeah, but in terms of HP values, like, I'm pretty sure, you know, you got Mawile, which is base 55. Toxapex has got low HP. That might be a way for him to just kind of, you know, nuke that Pex in order for something like his Prim to just click Moonblast or Pump or whatever. So it'd be interesting to see that come out from Zach's side.
Staraptor can be a very much a all-in sort of Pokemon as well, though. So if he does go for the final Gambit, similar to what we saw in your game, granted Mega Gengar not as bulky as Cofagrigus, but if there is that switch into the Ghost type, it immediately nullifies what it can do. Potentially has to take a big hit as well to be able to get this final Gambit off, potentially. So, yeah, it could be a way of breaking through Nova's team, but Nova is a good player. He may draft very unconventional stuff, but he knows how to use the unconventional stuff at an incredibly high level. More so than most do.
I want to be like Nova.
So it's definitely a much more even matchup than you may just look at this one and go, oh, well, there's like 5 Mons that don't really exist. They exist in this situation.
Oh, yeah. In Nova's hands, they absolutely do have some kind of merit, and it's terrifying.
And yeah, like, this team still has that Mega Marwal and Mega Gengar, which is a terrifying duo to have as your Mega pair. Granted, it's going to have a tough time potentially against that Mega Delphox, but at the same time, there's every part of this team that Nova's got that will somehow or some way deal with the Delphox. It will be like the Simipour, or it will be the Sharpedo that somehow is able to live a hit from the Delphox and just nuke it in return.
I am intrigued to see if we will see the Sharpedo. Obviously, with the speed boost shenanigans that's going on, it would be nice speed control for Nova. But like I was saying to Alex, like, I wonder if it's going to be the Gen 6 goats or the power creep goats that are going to come up on top in terms of the megas. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see kind of how this match plays out. You've got obviously Delphox weak for the punch from Nawal, but then you've got Queen Majesty on that side. So it's definitely going to be a lot of games, I think, going into this match.
Yeah, for sure. That's if we actually have the match, of course. Yeah, we're still waiting on Nova. You know what? I'm just gonna call them out. Just name and shamed on the stream. But yeah, once they turn up, we will get straight into the game.
No turning up for bottom.
Debating whether or not to mute you for now, but at the same time, that means I'm talking to myself. So
I've unmuted to say I'm incredibly disappointed in that.
Good.
We all are. We, as a league, we actually strive for better, but unfortunately, we don't have control of our casters. They will say some quite frankly absurd things.
You can't control me.
Next, you'll say that Mr. Gavin isn't the best mon in this matchup.
Oh, I wouldn't say that.
No, but Ellie might. She's on that trajectory already.
I mean, what would you do if I said that?
Well, the issue is I don't want to commentate another game straight away, so I mean, I guess I'd have to allow it.
Wow, who are you and what have you done with Jack?
Well, if it was Greedon, it's a different story. Like, there's no... once...
And now Mr. Gavin clears Greedon.
Oh. That's a statement. That's a statement I'm not sure you can back up.
Them's a fighting words, I
have to bite my tongue real hard here.
The strongest fighter in history versus the strongest fighter of today.
Debating whether or not to go get an ice cream. Chat.
I mean, I do have an ice cream. I did get myself one whilst I was downstairs.
Yeah. The thing is, I'm commentating and I can't.
It would be tricky.
You know, I can't really. Yeah, I can't really fucking go downstairs and put it back halfway through again. I mean, I could.
You do have the facilities for that, boss man. But
I say go for it.
I mean, we could be here for another 40 minutes until game 3. So at that point, it's worth getting the ice cream. It's the risk reward here.
Mr. Gavin would like. You know what? That's enough for me. I'm gonna go get ice cream.
You know what?
That's enough for me.
I always knew that Bill was a man of culture.
If nobody got me, I know Gert got me. Oh boy. Oh my god, it's so much cooler down here. Maybe I stay down here and commentate and not
see the screen at all.
still commentate.
Just commentate on vibes.
Yeah, just commentate an entirely different scenario as to what's happening and see how Eddie reacts.
I mean, could. Do I want ice cream or do I want melon?
Both. Both is good.
I mean, depends on what ice cream it is. Does it work with the melon?
Not really.
Like, I know you got tiramisu ice cream downstairs.
I do.
Dibs.
Yeah.
Would that work with the melon? Oh, I mean, you no longer have tiramisu ice cream.
Well,
I have tiramisu ice cream. I'm so excited for that.
You don't even like coffee.
Doesn't matter. It's the principle.
When you call a dibs, you will then eat the food regardless of whether you like it or not.
You know what? I'm actually not going to have ice cream. I'm going to have melon. I'm on my skinny girl arc.
So what Ellie's saying is that she's going to have the ice cream later.
No.
You've been read so hard.
Calories don't count if it's after midnight. or whatever. I don't know.
That counts as next day.
Exactly.
You just keep pushing it over.
That's tomorrow's Eddie's problem.
Yeah, see, you guys get it.
Like
Real
a famous song from the early 2000s, "Tomorrow Never Comes."
I was about to say, it's not the only thing that doesn't come, but then Dave was
I was gonna
muted.
say-
So
Oh
it's-
my god!
Something over, I don't know.
Welcome to Saturday Night Mons, everyone!
After,
Well, some...
I don't think it's been 2 hours yet, and we've already devolved into chaos. It's been like an hour and a half.
Oh lord.
It's all downhill from here.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Now,
Who do you think could win in a fight, Mickey Mouse or Mr. Gavin?
there's no question.
I mean, on the one hand, we have the head of a global corporation that has raised
Bro, what are you
billions
doing?
and billions and done terrible things to the world. And on the other hand, it's Mr. Gavin.
I would just like to point out that Ellie has granted she has left me chocolate, so I can't complain too much. But she did have a scoop of my ice cream without calling dibs.
Oh, you've broken the sacred
You
oath.
don't need to.
At the same time, she has left me chocolate that has proceeded to break in my ice cream. I would like my money back.
Yeah, this is pure anarchy,
I like
pure
pointing
chaos.
out that I bought this ice cream.
That is a very good counterpoint.
You want to hear about anarchy? I was at the beach the other day, and they were selling 99 flakes for £4.
Oh my
That
god!
would
It's not
send me
99.
to-
It's not. Yeah, I was gonna say that's just like completely false advertising at that point, isn't
Oh, I know, right?
100.
it?
I thought I'd drop back in since Nova's doing his best impression of Jay, Ricky, and Johnny.
Oh,
Ricky-
shots fired.
Ricky's not even here to defend himself.
He's not even here.
Ricky's not here to defend himself.
Bro's just catching strays. Stray
Good
Ricky.
old Joe Ricky.
Stray Ricky is crazy.
Oh dear.
We like to
It's
have
okay,
fun
Ricky.
here.
We love
Apart
Ricky.
from Nova. Nova doesn't.
No, evidently. It's purely unacceptable behaviour.
He was the one who wanted it earlier as well. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
The audacity.
Guy, this guy.
Unbelievable, Jeff.
So, how about that airplane food?
What about the
Where's-
price of
where's-
that airline food?
Where's Nova, Chris? I don't know, Chef.
I didn't see. Nova's supposed to play. Is he?
Thought he was being substituted.
I thought he dropped.
For those who are British, you just don't understand.
Yeah, that's like a rite of passage for British television, is knowing that particular. Yeah, see, Gert gets it.
Yeah,
Gert
yeah.
gets it.
Nice
And
British
then there's
football
me.
reference.
I mean, I was going to say we'd give you a buy, but at the same time, you did say that potentially Mr. Gavin doesn't beat Greedon. Or no, sorry, the other way around. Shit. Self-report.
What have you done? What have you done?
I'm trying my ice
done?
cream in peace. But this is literally just going to be cream by the time that Nova turns up.
There's a joke there, but I'm not going to make it.
Yeah, that's probably for the best, to be honest.
I think so.
Like you say, we are incredibly professional here. We strive for better, apparently.
Apparently.
So I'll see you guys next week.
Yeah, I'm yet to see any true evidence of that happening.
I mean, why do you think Don
Strive for
Fanatic,
better. I won't be here next week.
Don Fanatic's not casting this week? What do you mean?
True.
Wee, wee.
What
So,
do we
how-
do, Dad? Should we go into game 3, see if they can play early?
Well, I don't think Tom's
That's
awake.
me.
That's the
That's
issue
really Tom.
here. Tom, as our complimentary Australian, is not likely to be awake at what is probably 6:15 his time.
I mean, Tom
Should
does wake up
we-
early, but they don't wake up that early.
Should we end stream? Like, what's the play here, boys?
It's a tough
You know
call,
what we
isn't
should
it?
do? You know what we should do? We should do a free for all whilst we wait.
I mean,
Just
Dog
crickets,
Fanatic
huh?
has just ejected it too.
I mean, we could, by all means. Let me just set up a screen capture for it, I guess.
Gives
There's
me a
only
bit of
so
time
much
to
we
work
can
on the
ramble
team,
about,
so-
you know?
That's true. We do like to talk shit.
We do, we do.
That's just the end of the
Quite good at
sentence,
it
I
as
feel
well.
like that's...
I would also
Is
like to
Melon right?
put it.
I'm
Yeah,
sad
go on.
about it. I was just talking about my mother and how it's not right.
You can't talk about your
It's a PG stream, man.
Why
Come on.
not?
Man.
Yeah, God.
Listen, I gotta advertise the OnlyFans somewhere.
Hi, let me just go ahead and have a nice black screen for a little bit whilst I set up the window capture. You can all enjoy my background. My OnlyFans background, obviously. So true. Nothing but facts being said right now. Yeah, but I'm aware that that's the case. You don't want to hear. Things have
You
happened.
don't want to hear this.
Which one is my Discord? It's that one. There we go. Let's go ahead and copy.
So-
We should be good now. And by good, I mean
Wonderful.
we're clearly not good. Very clearly not
We've
good.
not been good for a long time.
So that week 2 matchup versus me, Jack. Can you just bring those 6? You know,
I mean,
I wish.
currently I have nothing. In that.
exactly. That's all you need.
Regardless of whether I bring 6, I'm still losing.
That's a bold claim.
Sorry, I went for a big scoop of ice cream after I finished my sentence.
I heard the letter S and I didn't think scoop of ice cream was going to be coming out.
So Ellie, you challenging us to this free for all?
What did you think? Oh, the woman has to do all the work. Okay, I see how it is. Cool. Guess I'll get on Showdown.
You weren't even on Showdown. This was your idea.
That is unbelievable.
I'm not even logged in, lads. What am I doing? Oh, I can't log into Thunder Cunting. Rip Thunder Cunting.
That's a sentence.
Fucking what a username. Good time.
I can't log into Thunder Cunting.
Ugh, pour one out for a real one.
Great days.
I challenged them and they immediately hasn't accepted.
I don't know what
the fuck.
What you mean? I'm literally here.
Yeah, but it wasn't frame 1, so like, you know. All right, I'm gonna everyone stream snipe Jack.
Yes, easy.
Ah, yes.
Yeah. No, I will not be stream sniping.
Ah, I've got the squawk ability. You all lose.
Alright, honestly, what's the point in playing?
Can we just point out that one of these mons is not a normal type?
Get him, boys!
Get 'em, boys! Second, boys!
That will only save you for one turn.
Second, boys!
Huh.
Ah.
Well, this is somewhat less than ideal, isn't it?
I think you're fine, Dave. You're
Yeah.
just Terra normal.
The upside is that you only lose one Pokemon.
Did we? Oh dear.
Oh. Right,
Uh-oh.
well,
Ah.
We all over predicted.
fortunately for you, Dave, we have assessed a new threat who decided to not attack.
I felt bad!
No?
I didn't want to! I don't like this.
I would like to report I've just been DM'd by Nova.
Oh,
It just says my name.
That's
It's just
okay.
nice. Yeah,
Cut to 3.
it's actually your fault that
Oh, dear.
Nova hasn't turned up for his game.
true. I am in danger.
He says his match is in about 40 minutes.
That's just not true. Ow. Oh, the pro player predicting the roost. Well played. Generational.
Oh. You want the normal type? You want the normal type?
Ah, shit. Well played, sir.
That's how we do things over here.
Oh, good gravy. Sorry.
Hello.
Nova
So-
says he's on his way.
Does Nova know he was meant to play 20 minutes ago?
Yeah, I think he thought his game was an hour from now.
Well, that is
Oh dear.
vitally unfortunate. The good news is that I know that Gert and Matrix had to play after their scheduled time, so it's working out nicely for them. Is this the horse? We've all horses out here. We are all
I'm a horse.
we're all horses.
One-
We are all horses. That is
Oops,
just
all
true.
horse?
I do be holding a lustrous globe.
Oh, very lustrous. Oh, the
Thank
rapid spin
you.
KO.
Oh, well played.
Thank
The
you.
rapid spin KO.
Yes, I'm not a scarf ditto. Oh dear.
How did you live that?
Expertly
Why-
EV'd, obviously.
What? Why did protect? I didn't realise that the protect doesn't protect against
It sure doesn't.
future sight. I didn't do that on purpose.
Gang. Is,
Well-
is Volcanion a horse?
I could see
It's
it.
horse adjacent.
Horse adjacent.
A saddle. I reckon you could like kind of.
It's
ride
horse-ish.
I reckon you could.
It's horsing around.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
This had better
Nothing
be a
to say
rubbish.
there, boys.
Uh-oh.
Nothing to see here.
Uh-oh. Yay.
Probably fine.
I'm
Is
surprised
that
that did
a fire
26.
type rapid spin kill?
No, because you still got the rocks.
But it's the same damage and same effect.
They should make flame charge get rid of rocks.
It should, to be fair.
Why is the? I have questions. I have so many questions.
I was not intentionally attacking you, Dave. Oh my god.
Ah, shit. Well played.
Ah, brilliant.
Yeah, you get rid of that defense.
None of that dauntless shield for you.
None of that dauntless shield nonsense, that woke nonsense.
Did you say that I'm locked in? No, okay. That's what I say. What the fuck is stopping me from switching here?
Locked into in prison.
I could see it.
Scarf in prison's the new meta.
Yeah, you can't. You can't click this. No, 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 no.
Enjoy your health back.
Betrayal.
That did 2. That did more than 2.
It sure did. Ah, the citrusy.
Dave, was that betrayal because you attacked a horse?
No, it was betrayal because you healed the Volcanion. Oh no.
Oh no, not Agent Spider.
Brother.
Ah! Hello there.
It's double Agent Spider.
Go into a Spidops. Go into a spot. Sticky.
Oh.
Where?
Where?
I hope that came
have
from
no
stream.
spider.
Beautiful.
I have an eel.
That's
Does
not
that
a
count?
spider.
Okay, I'm just gonna casually hazard stack in a free for all.
You know what? Fair. Fair.
You've got more ones left.
Yeah,
than
no,
everyone
no,
else.
no.
Also,
Yeah, no, it's all
assessing
good.
the threat.
I also wanted to get out my sticky webs.
The boy.
Uh-oh.
The boys are in fact here.
Boys are indeed back in town.
Any cold ones around for them to crack open?
Oh,
Oh, you cowards.
I knew that was happening. All
we
three.
assessed the threat, huh? Dave could never.
I need to keep Spidops around. Let me sack something that's a bit more useless.
Can I help Phoenix out a little bit?
Ah, thanks, man.
Does
I'm so
yeah, there you go.
Oh, wonderful. Ah, the phalanx counter is here.
How much is this gonna do?
Not that's a
Oh,
trust.
we live those.
Oh,
Bramble's a thick boy.
damn, son.
I don't like the fact that there's a Zacian on the field. Okay, goodbye.
Yeah, you won't.
I like the fact there's a Zacian on the field.
Ah, fuck him.
Deserved.
Ah.
It was not to be. Ah,
No
goodbye,
hazards for
hazards.
me.
Yeah, you knock off my citrusy. Where do you
Oh.
live? Don't like that.
No.
You're still the fastest thing on the field by probably quite a way.
Probably. Yeah, but now I'm gonna get paralyzed. Paralyzed.
Paralyzed.
Oh!
Sure are.
Why
Yum.
do I say these things? Why do I? You know what?
Easy. That's
Ah,
how you do it.
That's
Wait.
the superior
Okay.
fairy.
hang
Are
on.
we?
I need to go back over because apparently they're about to play or are playing.
Yeah, they're not in our thing.
Connection has interrupted. Excellent news.
Wait.
Hang
Wait.
on. We'll go back to this for now. I've got so many things going on right now.
They didn't say. This is top tier communication right here.
Also,
We
there,
got so lost
there
in
was-
the sauce that we forgot about our coaches.
there was
We
absolutely
didn't even get lost in the sauce. They
no.
didn't even.
They
like,
didn't say anything.
confirm.
It was just suddenly a good luck, have fun in the chat. And we're like, oh shit!
Like, what are you doing? What's this guy doing, bruv?
Hopefully the room is still active.
That'd be funny
If they've just joined a random one.
Yeah, we just can't spectate it. I mean, Zach was in the room. Jack did his one bit of admin work for the season in letting him know that that is the room. Okay,
Right.
casters,
Okay.
try and
We're
work
in.
out what's going on.
All
My
right, boys.
lord.
Good
Oh
luck,
my
have fun,
god.
everyone. Well, we're
Oh.
finally here for game 2. Half an hour late, but you know, it is what it is. It appears that there is, in fact, a Singapore and a Sharpedo. And you know what? It's got gunk shot. Boy, oh boy, are we into the deep end right now. Alex, what's going on?
That's all I've got. We've got a
Oh!
dead Primarina to a poison fang Sharpedo. That's what's going on, ladies and gentlemen.
Shit,
The
that is
first
not
blood-
what I thought would
First blood
You know
apparently going to Nova.
You know what? When you see a Prim against the Simipour and a Sharpedo, you don't think that either of them are goodbye Simipour. It's waving goodbye to itself. You don't think that the Prim's going to come out on top of that exchange, or you think the Prim's going to come out on top of that exchange. Turns out, actually, that Nova chose violence today when he woke up and said, you know what, fuck you. Kebia Berry, that's not going to save you. So we've had a double down on this turn 1 here. We have no idea what the coaches have got in the back. We have seen both Megas from Nova's side, and we see... Is it both Megas from Zach's side as well? I know he's got the
It
Mega
is
Delphox.
not, no, because the other Mega was the Electros, which has not shown up. One
right
thing I
you
would
are.
like to mention here is we've just seen that Aegislash one-shot that Simipour using Life Orb, which is it just kind of shows the power creep that's coming in MB, as we see potentially both. Well, we see the Mega Mawile and the Garchomp hitting the field here, and this is the big power increase from what was on the field previously.
Did we see Intimidate pop here from the Mawile, or is that a sheer force Mawile? That
It could even be Hypercutter to avoid Intimidate from the opposing Staraptor.
That would make sense. Right, you are, Harry. You know, my brain's a little fried, honestly. I was just clicking Hyper Voice with my Cyclozar, and now I gotta think about what's going on with this game. So, you know, we're in a bit of a tricky spot. Obviously, King Shield is likely gonna come out from the Aegislash here. See a potential Earthquake from the Chomp, but Mega Maw is obviously gonna pop that Mega. Look at that majestic little guy. And Sharpedo is gonna go for Protect, just to do a little bit of scouting.
Of course, and we're going to see the Aegislash is going to change its stance and go for the King's Shield, potentially to protect itself from any of the dark moves that might come in. But the Mega Mawile also protects here, so turn of protects all around, as the Garchomp reveals it is special, going for the Earth Power here. Very interesting choice.
I like Special Chomp here. Obviously, it circumvents that Intimidate if it was going to be Intimidate Mega Mawile, which, you know, it's Nova, so fuck knows what's going on through that man's brain. Obviously, it's going to be Hypercutter again to negate that Intimidate, drop from the Funny Bird on the other side. Earthpower probably going to be doing a lot to the Mega Moro. You would think it is weaker on the Spadef side, so I don't hate special jump here.
No, neither do I, but the Chomp does hate seeing this matchup now that its Earth Power failed, and is going to protect as the Sucker Punch goes into the Aegis Slash,
my god, that does so much!
Massive damage, and the Ice Fang from the Sharpedo is going to get protected. And what is the Aegis Slash going to do? It's changing into the Blade form and going for Poltergeist, revealing the item is Focus Sash, so Sharpedo will live this hit on 1 health. Oh, well, more than 1 health apparently. This base 40 defense thing just decided it's going to randomly live, and the Aegis Slash goes down to its own life orb. So the onus is now on Zach to respond.
I'm going to be so honest. I know Morwell is strong, but I did not expect Sucker Punch to do so much damage. We're going to see Delphox come out here, and Morwell's free to click Sucker Punch again into something. I mean, we saw the Trump went for Protect last turn. It could be a double into the Trump slot here. You know, we could see an Ice Fang from the Sharpedo to get big damage off onto the Trump, and Morwell can kind of do what it wants. Maybe we see a Will-O-Wisp from Zach's side to kind of play around that Sucker Punch, you know, that threat of the Sucker Punch. So it's going to be tricky, but Nova's looking in a really good spot here, game 1.
Absolutely. However, the Delphox does have a few tricks up its sleeve. Potentially even Substitute could work here, allowing it to... Well, we're just going to see the Protect, unfortunately, protecting itself from that Sucker Punch as you predicted. And the Sucker Punch going into that Whoa, it failed, meaning that... Oh yeah, that's just the way the interaction works. The Ice Fang into the Garchomp, leaving it on 4% and taking out the Sharpedo with the Rough Skin. And now what's Chomp going to do? Is it going to Earthquake? No, it's going to Earth Power. And that's not going to take out the Mawile.
Incredibly impressive bulk from the Morwell here, and I do wonder if we'll see a second Protect next turn from the Delphox slot, just to again, you know, circumvent that Sucker Punch. But Wolfie is in the back, and by Wolfie I mean Mystic Lick, and by Mystic Lick I mean Incineroar. VGC Incineroar, you know, Mr. VGC himself.
Mr. VGC himself has made an appearance here, and he looks like he might be able to close up this match unless the Delphox has that Focus Blast.
It's going to be a tricky situation for sure, but, you know, Morwell is on its last legs. We should see a Protect from the Trump come out here. You know, it's so low, you got to protect yourself from that Fake Out. So maybe we see a double into the Delphox. You know, it protected last turn, so it's going to be vulnerable this turn unless they get lucky with the double Protect. It is going to opt to go for that Mega Evolution. Maybe some way it can live this Sucker Punch. Maybe it goes for a Will-O-Wisp, but with the Fake Out, it's not looking great for Zach. He does get the double Protect.
Oh, big 50% chance here. And the Garchomp also protects, so we see not only a double Protect, a triple Protect, and a quadruple Protect. This is just the turn of Protects here. And the Throat Chop from the Incineroar is not going to connect. So, as you were, ladies and gentlemen.
With the not clicking Fake Out, is this a potential Choice Scarf Incineroar we're about to see?
Oh, potentially. It could well be. It does have base 60, which I don't think is going to be enough to let it outspeed the Mega Delphox, but it should outspeed absolutely everything else on the field. So as long as you can keep that thing around, it could put out some pretty decent offensive damage here.
It's with the Sucker Punch, obviously you got the Mind Games coming out. I think Nova just has to keep clicking Sucker Punch on the opposing side of the field. You know, eventually he's going to run out of Protects, and well, I guess he's also going to run out of Sucker Punches. He is going to opt to go for a 4th Protect, Sucker Punching into the Chomp slot. And now, because of Ruskin, it's a 1v1 situation, taking down the Chomp, eliminating that threat for Incineroar. And now it looks like Nova's in a really good spot, unless we see potential Focus Blast from the Delphox. It's just going to hang on, and it's a 1v1 situation.
That was a really clever Sucker Punch from Nova there, calling the well, the attempt from Kaz, or not Kaz, to Zach to stall them all out, but that focus blast here from the Delphox, which could potentially have won this game, missing at the vital moment for Zach, is all but going to ensure that Nova, despite waking up late, they have no sleepiness in their minds. They are fresh as a daisy, and they are ready to take game one. And here we are, ladies and gentlemen. At the moment, it's Nova Blader 1, Zach Mandan 0.
What a chaotic game one. We saw the double into the Prim turn one, which honestly, fantastic move by Nova, because it really freed up that instant to kind of just do what it wanted in the back half of the game. So I wonder what adjustments Zach is going to make going into game two with that knowledge, knowing that both water types are packing that poison type coverage for the threat of Prim. And hopefully we'll see kind of Prim being able to do what it does best in game two here, heading up, as both coaches are ready to get into the second game. Not what we kind of expected. I mean, Focus Blast isn't stab, but it's not a weak move. Maybe we could have seen a crit there. It could have been Choppleberry. Definitely an unfortunate miss. But even just for the information on Zach's side, maybe we didn't see a KO there, but it would have been nice to have seen what kind of investment that Incineroar had. So Focus Blast miss, you know, it is what we call it, focus miss, for a reason, right, lads? Like, it's not 70% accurate. Let's be honest. It's just not.
It's one of those moves that whenever you need it to hit, it misses. It's absolute luck of the draw, and unfortunately, Zach wasn't able to get the luck. But Nova played very well that game. The sucker punch into the Garchomp, calling out the protect on that turn, was very, very good, and probably just about edged over Zach in deserving that game there. However, there's a few Pokemon that haven't shown up yet. There's a secondary Mega on, I believe, both sides that could show up here. So how on earth are these two coaches going to switch up for game two? Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Game two, Nova versus Zach Manda, and it's live.
Let's get into it. With the Sucker Punch from the Morwell bringing so big of a threat into Zach's team, I'm going to be interested to see. Ooh, we do have an adjustment. He's going to lead with a Mega Gengar. Interesting. So we may be seeing some Perish Trap shenanigans right off the bat. But with no Serena, his priority is going to be a really big problem for Zach to have to navigate here. And I do wonder how he's kind of going to deal with that going forward.
Absolutely. And because the Kangaskhan does have the Scrappy, he can basically just pick one of the Pokemon on Nova's side here to just not attack this turn, giving Zach pretty much free momentum in this early stage. So, yeah, a double switch up in Pokemon for both sides here. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how this goes.
Obviously, we did see the Cabia Berry pop from Zach's side in game one, so Prim looking like a big threat. So we might see Fake Out from the Incin into the Prim slot here, but he's actually going to hard withdraw, not wanting to take any kind of chip, going straight out into the Aegislash, maybe circumventing that Fake Out. As good grief, that did a lot of damage.
That's just what happens when Gengar takes a physical hit. And it's, as you were, ladies and gentlemen, the double Fake Out and the switch, meaning that nothing got to do anything that turn except for chip slightly. But the switch meaning that Zach does have that Kebia Berry later to play around this Gengar, which is going to protect this turn. And the stance change from the Aegislash coming out, meaning it's going to go for an attack. The Shadow Sneak, and a great call on the protect from Nova there. As last resort, Kangaskhan comes out and smashes into that Incineroar, which reveals finally its item, which was Citrus Berry. And the Throat Chop into the Aegislash, and that's the first KO.
Get out! That's a huge turn. Absolutely beautiful usage of Protect from Gengar there. It's interesting he hasn't Mega'd, which makes me think Morwell is in the back. But beautiful use of Protect Zang. You know, with the stance change, knowing that Throat Chop is going to take out the Aegislash. Gengar is now fairly unthreatened unless we see the Sucker Punch from the Kanga come out. But even then, there could be Will-O-Wisp shenanigans going on from this Gengar, providing a lot of use for Nova already. But this is a beautiful couple of first turns here for Nova in this game too.
Absolutely, Nova taking full control of this game. It's the onus now, of course, on Zach to respond, and the I can't even, my words are failing me. The Kangaskhan with the last resort, of course, a very, very potent set in the ladder at the moment, and it has been since it came out. But the Scrappy just means it gets there just use big hits again and again. And if Nova's not able to take that out, it could wreak some big damage. But the Delphox is choosing to Mega here. So what's it going to go for? Will we see another Focus Blast, or will we see a Psychic move?
Nova's gonna go for a cheeky double protect. You know, you gotta protect. You gotta respect it here, as it's gonna take out the Gengar with the Psychic. Are we gonna get a Curse Body? Not today.
No Curse Body today.
Is this gonna be a double down? Last resort.
It could be.
Oof.
And
that's
there
a double
we go.
down.
Huge double down there, completely shifting the tide back in Zach's favor. However, Nova does still have 2 Pokemon around that they can call on, and it's going to be a 2v2. Marwile, as you correctly predicted, Ellie, is going to be the Mega, and Simipour makes a return. So here we are, Mega Marwile and Simipour versus Mega Delphox and Kangaskhan.
Now, we saw in the first game, because of Poltergeist, this is actually a choice Scarf Simipour. So we could be seeing a protect from the Delphox here. Because he's threatened by the pump, do we see a double into the Kangaskhan slot? We know it's unprotected. It doesn't, it's got fake out Last Resort. We know it's not got anything else because of how Last Resort works. And, last time I think, oh, he's going to use Sucker Punch. No, Ellie, that's not how Last Resort works, you big dum-dum. So Marwile's going to go ahead and Mega up, beautifully doubling that attack stat here. More than doubling, I think, because of huge power. And Delphox is, in fact, going to go for the protect. Do we see the double into the Kangaskhan slot?
We do see a single into the Kangaskhan slot doing big damage. We do see the double into the Kangaskhan slot, taking out the Kangaskhan. Excellent
cinema.
call.
Absolute cinema. Great call from Nova there. And we're going to see Prim come out here. So it is a 2v2 situation. Is this Marwile going to be able to survive the special attacking prowess that is in front of them? Is it going to be able to even tank down this Primarina? Because I swear, Simipour is definitely going to have a hard job doing that for Primarina for sure. But oh my goodness!
Oh my lord!
Why did that die?
Nova with the Simipour. Name a more iconic combination. Huge hyper voice from the Primarina, doing about 50% of both. But the player off into the Prim. That's it. Dominant victory. What a stunning turnaround from Nova there.
I cannot believe what I have just witnessed. I am never going to talk shit about Simipour ever again. I cannot believe what we have witnessed today. What was that? 3 KOs in that set?
Nova,
absolutely incredible.
Never fails to disappoint, do they? Whenever Nova plays, some craziness is going to happen. Oh my word. That Simipour claimed, I think you're right, 3 KOs. And what an excellently played round of Pokemon, ladies and gentlemen. It took a little bit of time to get here, but my word did it absolutely deliver. Your final score for Game 2 of Sunday Night Mons is Nova Blader 2, Zach Mander 0.
Good lord, that is not what I expected to see today. Last season of PPL Live, we had a lot of games going to 3-0s, or Game 3s rather, but we're starting off this season with just 2-0s.
Yeah.
Chat, what's going on? What's happening? Where are the Game 3s? Where are the Game 3s?
I mean,
insane performance from Simipour there.
There was just no Mr. Gavin, so there was no competition, unfortunately. Saying that, we do have to very quickly get into our Game 3 for the night, because Tom will have to get to work. It is a Monday for him. So we need to start this one as soon as possible. So, Ellie and Dave, I know you've just had a frantic Game 2, but let's move straight on to Game 3.
Right, I'm going to hop out of call then. Thank you very much. I'll see you on the other side.
See you on the other side, brother.
What a game that was. We'll focus on this one for now, though. Tom versus Wanzi. I finally get to say that we have Electric Terrain Dance back. I've got the right Raichu. I got my Raichus wrong last time in your game and thought that was it. But we have the Electric Terrain Dance. We've got Pelipper, Archaludon, and Mega Raichu X. That is a dangerous combination, especially with Basculegion Female in there as well. That top, I mean, to be honest, much of Tom's team is incredibly threatening. But then Alex, in a return to Draft League and in doubles in unfamiliar territory for him, really, But Annihilate, Mousehold, being able to nab those, you know, he loves his Annihilate. Mousehold can provide excellent support for it, and he's just got some tricksy things there. And it has to be said, a Stunfisk.
I was literally about to say there is a Stunfisk, and because of the mimicry ability, it can be electric type in this matchup, which actually looks pretty good versus Tom. You know, you got that. You got the fact that, you know, it's not gonna be doing much with Electroshock into the funny fish. Mudsdale has a weird matchup here. Obviously, you don't really want to bring your ground type into Rain, but into Mega Scizor, into Mega Raichu, Mudsdale does have merit here. And not only is there a Stunfisk, but there's a Watchog from Tom's team.
There is. I would love to see both of those. We also do have Scovillain versus Mega Scovillain. Got a couple of that going on there. We've got Mega Sizzle versus Sizzle. So some interesting mirror matchups going on here.
Water flying versus water flying as well with the Gyarados and the
yeah, it's so true. It's so true. I mean, I think Tom potentially has more modes to choose from here. You've got Rain, you've got the electric terrain, you've got potential Trick Room going on there. Oranguru, one of the better Trick Room setters going. We've seen Runerigus used very effectively under Trick Room by the Don Fanatic, but don't tell him I said that. And of course, Conkeldurr under Trick Room, very useful as well. So I think Tom might have the edge in terms of the different ways he can approach this match. But, you know, Alex he's a very experienced battler in Draft League, not so much in doubles. So I think my most interesting thing here is going to see how Alex responds to his first Draft League game back into doubles, going against so many archetypes at once.
It's going to be tricky to navigate for sure, especially versus somebody he has had history with. In the past, these two players have played in a final, and Tom did come up on top. So it's going to be interesting with this little rivalry going into their week 1 PPL battle here. Who is, you know, Onesy's going to be coming for that victory, and Tom is definitely, you know, he's got to be watching out, because when Alex is set on his mind on something, he's very determined. So I'm interested to see what Alex is going to do here. Annihilate looks like a gigantic threat into Tom's team if he can't kind of get that under control. Maybe we see a kind of bulky variant, or maybe even a Choice Scarf. But you know, with the Swift
There
Swim
is
as well, it's tough. It's tough.
Yeah, and there is something else that we do sort of have to mention on Alex's side. Like, we say it as a bit of a meme between us, but Alex is known for really taking his time with every play. And, you know, last generation, that was a minute timer. Now he's got 2 mons to choose, and it's 45 seconds. Like, this is a personal change that Alex is going to have to make to his personal gameplay. He can't afford to take his time with this.
No. In VGC, time is absolutely crucial, and you really don't get very much time to think at all, especially if you're one of the players that likes to calc between turns, between those animations. You really don't very much have that kind of freedom to do that. So Alex, has kind of got to overcome that and kind of think on his feet here. And
the timer.
Go on.
Go on. No, you go.
I was gonna say, I do like the idea of Mega Guard here, maybe some Trick Room, but it's gonna be really difficult to pull off with the likes of, you know, Mega Scizor and Overquill threatening it as well. So it looks like on paper the matchup could go to Tom, but, you know, Onesy is a very creative builder and a very strong player as well. So I can definitely see Onesy, you know, coming out on top of this as well. So we'll just have to see as we get into game 3 here.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for him. But, you know, we can't judge a book by its cover here. Like we say, this is Alex's first VGC battle with a team that he himself has drafted. I think he may have taken over a couple of battles in previous division. I think he took over for Daria, maybe.
Yes.
But this is his first one with a team that is all his own. He's going to get his first full season out of it. And it just remains to be seen how he does. I think that we are just about ready to get into our matchup. So we're going to go over to that right about now and see what we are working with.
Alrighty. We see both scissors on both sides, which is not surprising. You know, Scizor is always a good Pokemon to bring. But we do see the Rain Maid from Tom. No Runerigress, but there is the Oranguru, so potential Trick Room there as well. Onesie side, we've got Mousehold Ape, of course, with the Scovillain, Komuro. We see an appearance from Rotom Frost, which I'm excited about, and the Scizor as the last Mon. What are your thoughts?
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's no Stunfisk and there's no Watchog. I think they both lose because of that decision.
I mean, play for second, I suppose. You know.
I think they have to. I think they have to, I don't think they either of them deserve second. I think they play for third.
Honestly, you might be right. You might be right.
But yeah, I mean, immediately we're seeing rain mode on Tom's side. There is, of course, that Oranguru. I don't see too much in the way of potential Trick Room outside of maybe a slow, powerful Swords Dance Mega Sizzle. I'm interested to see. I think we did see Mudsdale on Alex's side.
Wrong you are, Harry. Mudsdale
we didn't. We saw Rotom.
Not here.
That's the one. I get those mixed up. They're basically the same Mon.
They are basically the same Mon, yeah. I mean, I've never seen them in the same room.
But yeah, we have Pelipper Raichu versus Rotom Frost and Annihilate. This is a difficult early start for Alex, of course. Because you've got, if that Raichu decides not to Mega, then Lightning Rod is going to be protecting the Pelipper. The Pelipper can Wide Guard to protect them both. They can Hurricane into the Annihilate, do big damage. I wonder if this is something that Alex will have prepared for, because Pelipper Raichu is a fairly common lead. There's no switching out. It is going to be the Electro Web off rip. That is going to just straight Oko the Pelipper. Out of there immediately. What a start. Pelipper going down. The Rain Setter is gone. And the Raichu is going to go for Play Rough into the Annihilate. 50%. That's just going to power up that Rage Fist. But we do see an attack drop into Defiance.
Goodness.
This is now, it's going to be Taunt into the Raichu though. So not able to take advantage of that attack boost. But what a start for Alex. And it certainly looks like he has prepped for that lead. I can only imagine that it would have been Taunt into Pelipper to stop Wide Guard. And now in comes the Arcaludon. And much like your game 2 against Kaz, Tom now has limited time with that rain to take advantage of.
Absolutely. So Tom's game plan is on a timer unless we see... Is Dabrock in the game yet? Who knows? I'm so out of the loop with champions items, to be honest. But we're going to see a withdrawal from Alex's side, getting on out of there with the Rotom Frost into the Mousehold. Mekachu is going to pop, and Electric Terrain is going to come out here in just a moment. This Electro shot into whatever slot is gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt.
Yeah, this is going to be quite painful. Volt Tackle is going to come in onto the Mousehold slot. That is just going to drop. This is a very fast-paced game right off the bat. A big KO for Raichu, but look at the recoil. Drain Punch going to come in. There's the Chople Berry on Arcaludon. This is still going to hurt. Not as much as you would like. He's on 69. Nice.
So the attack rate is not really doing much for Alex there, because obviously with the Chople Berry coming through, this must be a very bulky Arcaludon. Primeape, Annihilate outspeeding it, of course. And this Annihilate is just going to die, right? It's an Electric Terrain, it's +1, there's no saving it, but
there is
7%. That is absolutely incredible scenes. And now all of a sudden, you still got an Annihilate here, 150 base power Rage Fist at +1, and Frig Nasty is going to come back on out. Oh, this Raichu
looking at the speed interactions, last time, it looks like this might be a Choice Scarfed Rotom, because it did move before the Raichu. So this could well be Scarfed. If that Annihilate has Protect, this is the time to go for it. Try and get that Electro Web off, because now the Raichu is not immune to it anymore.
Absolutely.
So there is a chance here for Rotom to be able to enable the Annihilate. That's exactly what's going to happen. Now they're both at a lowered speed, and actually the Annihilate should now just be outspeeding both of them. And it certainly is. Here comes Rage Fist. This is very powered up, and down goes Arcaludon. Wow.
Fantastic performance from Alex here. Volt Tackle going to come out into the Rotom slot. Going to do big damage, not quite take it out. Going to bring it to under half. And now Raichu is nearly in the red. We're going to see Tom's last Mon here, as it's going to be a 3v2 situation. Of course, Basculegion is in the back. The threat of Aqua Jet is here. But now you've got to decide, do you want to target the Rotom, or do you want to risk taking a big slot of damage from the Electro Web? Is it Swift Swim? Is it adaptability? Who knows? There's all sorts of speed variations to consider this turn. It's a tricky turn for both players, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And Alex still has that one Pokemon unrevealed in the back, and that could be an absolute game changer. Because depending on where he aims this attack, he can really tailor it to whatever he has left in the back.
Absolutely. I think the Electro Web... Oh, it is Swift Swim, and Surf is going to come out, and this is probably going to be a double down. It's a triple down, in fact. You know, Tom really came to this match and said, you know what? You're not going to kill my Mons. I'm going to kill my Mons. Fuck you. What gets that KO? Does that KO go to Basculegion? To killing his own Raichu?
It goes to nobody.
It's Life Orb. So, depending on what is in the back, can it 1v1 a Basculegion? Is it going to be Focus Sash? Oh, it is the Komodo, which does resist water. It could be bulletproof, so it could be immune to the Shadow Ball. If it's going to be anything, it's going to be the Komodo to potentially 1v1 it.
Yeah, he's going to go for the Protect and try and stall out as many burn turns as he can. That makes sense. We're going to see Hydro as the strongest attack. Now, of course, if that Basculegion does have bulletproof, if the Basculegion has Shadow Ball, it can't necessarily risk it in case this Komodo is bulletproof. But now that Rain Boost is gone. Very good use of the turns by Alex. And the question is, what does Komodo have to hit Basculegion, which can be a very bulky Mon, but it's probably the right choice to go against Basculegion in this instance. Better than the other two for sure. Clang Scales the 2-hit KO. The Hydro Pump is going to miss.
Hydro Pump is unfortunate, but let's be honest. I don't think it was ever doing enough to this Komodo here. So Alex navigating this weather war absolutely beautifully here in this game 1. And Tom's going to have to switch it up going into game 2. Very, very well navigated by Alex here. Like we say, on paper, we thought maybe Tom had the matchup, but, you know, Alex is very good at, you know, what he's determined. When he's got his sights set on something, he will lock in, and that's exactly what he's done this game 1 here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we said at the start that matchup looked difficult. Annihilate and Rotom Frost into Raichu and Pelipper, getting the rain set up for whatever wants to come in afterwards, but it seems very clear that Alex was prepared for that exact eventuality. Ready to get the Pelipper out of there as soon as possible, and then start getting Annihilate powered up and ready to go. So he was on the front foot immediately. I think Tom battled back really nicely into the game too. But like you say, there might have to be adjustments. But if those adjustments are coming, what are they going to be? Because, to be honest, I don't know that Scizor has the best matchup into Alex's team. So if there's going to be a switch-up, it has to be the Oranguru. But what's that going to do? It doesn't look like a Trick Room team, so it's just going to be playing support. So the question then becomes, is Oranguru support enough to make the difference?
I mean, Jack mentioned it earlier on in the chat. Instruct Electroshock could be a big problem going into this game 2 here if he does decide to bring it. It's going to be interesting, like you say, to see what adjustments both players make. We could see a switch up from Alex's side as well. We never know. But we're actually going to see a Scovillain and Komodo lead. Interesting. Into Pelipper, Raichu again. So maybe some Rage Powder shenanigans into Klangara's Soul. Not the lead I was expecting from Alex.
No, he's definitely been the one to switch things up. And thankfully for Alex, he's already seen that the Mega Raichu is packing the play rough, so he knows that is a threat into Komodo. But does the Raichu want to do that with the threat of Rage Powder on the field from Mega Scovillain that can then burn the Raichu and basically put it out of commission? On the other side, you've got Pelipper going for Hurricane. Is that something that Alex wants to take a risk with? I mean, I guess we're going to find out, because here comes turn 1. Raichu is going to Mega Off Rip, doesn't need that Lightning Rod to protect the Pelipper anymore. And the Scovillain is going to Mega as well. Do we see Rage Powder Off Rip?
Do we see a potential Thunder Punch from this Komao taking out this Pelipper as well? Because it does get that move, and I am very interested to see what it goes for. Raichu gonna go for the Protect here, just to scout out what Alex wants to do, as we do see Rage Powder come out from the Scovillain here. So whatever this Pelipper is gonna go for, Scovillain's gonna take the heat, and I don't think it's gonna last very much longer. Does Hurricane take it out? No, it's trained to live that attack from the Pelipper. Spicy Fairy gonna be coming out, burning that Pelipper, getting that chip damage off. Do we see a Thunder Punch? It's going to be the Clangorous Soul. Oh my goodness. And here comes an Omni-boosted Komao.
Yeah, this is looking very, very dangerous already. Komao can be quite difficult to take down, and now Tom has to play this game because the threat is on the field. An Omni-boosted Komao can cause a whole lot of damage. We know that Pelipper isn't sashed. It doesn't matter because the burn would have broken it anyway. But now, is the threat of Komao too real for Raichu to ignore it? And if so, does it want to go to the player-off? Is Alex going to redirect that away with the Rage Powder? Well, he's going to certainly try. Here comes Rage Powder. It looks like the Raichu hasn't switched out. And the Raichu is going to go after because of Clanging Scales. That is a big amount of damage. Defense down doesn't really matter too much. And there's the player off. Does this KO? It doesn't! It doesn't KO! Look at that. The Raichu is burns.
You know, I never really
be...
respected Mega Scovillain, but already seeing the value that is provided for Alex in these first couple of turns here, I have a lot of rethinking to do. My lord. Fantastic value out of Mega Scovillain there.
Yeah, there was a lot of thinking early on when it got revealed of like, that's a really cool ability, but how long is Scovillain really going to stick around for on the field to burn as many things as possible? Well, the answer is right here, because it's tanked a couple of big hits going on there, and now in comes the second redirector Pippin. This is looking like a very clinical game plan from Alex.
Fantastically well navigated too. He's gone straight for the offense and putting Tom right on the back foot. He can't even really take advantage of his own rain because he's got so much to think about with this Komao in front of him. Do we see a potential wide guard come out from the Pelipper here? Do we see maybe a swap out to preserve that rain? But Komao is actually going to go for a protect here. What do we see from the Mousehold? It's just going to be a double protect.
Gonna double protect. Maybe he's trying to bait out that protect on something else. Here comes the Volt Tackle. We already saw that do a lot of damage to the Mousehold last time, and the Pelipper going to go for Hurricane. But that is all the Pelipper can do, because I believe the burn is now going to take it out, and that is Wide Guard off the field.
No wide guard, no rain, and now there's only, I believe, 2 turns left to really take advantage of the drizzle. Maybe we see Basculegion come out. We saw, I believe it was Swift Swim last game, but it's not going to come out to threaten the Komao. It's actually going to be the Arcaladon, but I don't know if Arcaladon's got the bulk in it to live a +1 Clanging Scales. Plus, with the redirection potential, this Komao is looking like a massive threat.
Well, I don't remember if we saw Stamina on Arcaladon. If we didn't, it could be Stalwart, which would avoid that redirection, of course. That could be a saving grace. I can't remember if we saw an ability on Arcaladon, but we might be about to find out. Here comes the Follow Me from the Mousehold. We're going to see the Clanging Scales come in from the Komao. Huge damage into the Arcaladon. The Raichu is down. This Arcaladon is on a tear. Do we see the redirection? It's going to be Dragon Pulse. It is Stalwart, but that big special defense boost from the Omni boost on the Komao means it's going to absolutely tank that hit. And now this Arcaladon is under real threat. Is there anything in the back that can save Tom here?
It's going to be tricky for sure. We've already seen Protect on the Komao as well. Basculegion is going to be coming out. It's got 1 turn of rain left to take advantage of that Swift Swim ability, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Alex has got another Pokemon in the back as well to take advantage of that. Komao, maybe, you know, maybe it's time to come to an end, but you've still got a Tandemaus with the potential of... Oh, he's going to go for the double protect, and he's going to get it.
It wasn't a double, that's the thing. He went for Clanging Scales last time.
Oh, you're right,
so
you're
he had
right.
Protect on
I
deck.
wasn't paying attention.
Alex was, though. Here's the Protect from Arcaladon. Just to show that he has it, really. It's going to be the Surf. But that, I believe, if you're right on your turns, is the end of the rain. And if that's the case, then this might just be game over. And the rain stops. Komao is now the fastest thing on the field, and that mouse hold can just redirect damage away in case the Basque Legion doesn't go down.
Insane usage out of Clangorous Hole here, but not only that, you've got the Friend Guard boost coming out from this mouse hold here too, just meaning this Komodo can just eat hits for days and days. Clangor Scale is going to be coming out, taking out the Archaludon, bringing Basque Legion down to under half. Do we see a potential bite from this Tandem Mouse? I want to see it. I want to see it. It's going to be beat up, but it's not going to be doing quite enough damage. But it is still funny. It's still funny to see.
Yeah, beat up there, I guess, is also good into the Annihilate. It might be that we see it, but I don't think Surf is going to do anywhere near enough damage. Not with Friend Guard going on for the Komodo, and the Life Orb isn't going to really play into it here, and this is looking like another KO is coming in for that Komodo, who has just gone absolutely ham this game. Big support from the mouse holes, but of course, enough cannot be said for the early support from that Mega Scovillain.
Absolutely fantastic usage of redirection in this set from Alex. He's actually going to opt to go for Protect to get the beat up KO. You know what? I respect the fuck out of that. Who would win? A small family of mice or like the god of Swift Swim? Turns out it's a small family of mice.
Who would have thought it?
Excellently well played from Alex there. And he finally got his own back from this rivalry here versus Tom. Commiserations to Tom. Didn't quite make the adjustments going into game 2 here that he needed to make, and Alex just really took control from the get-go with that Komodo. And yeah, that was very impressive showing from Onesie there.
Yeah, it seems like that first game was, I'm going to call your lead that looks good into me, and I'm going to show you how I've prepared for it. And that went pretty well. I looked at getting it be a bit hairy towards sort of mid to end game, but Alex was able to take it back. And then game 2, he was like, okay, here's my real plan. How do you counteract this? And the answer simply was, you can't. Excellent use of Mega Scovillain, getting those clutch burns, taking hits that we didn't think it would. Like, I didn't think it was going to take that Hurricane. But then living on a couple of HP from that player off, getting the all-important burns, able to use Protect turns really effectively to see out the rain as well. That was just all Komodo and friends. So really, really clinical display in game 2. And a very strong showing in his first game with his own team.
Yeah, I mean, it just goes to show, like, you know, when you've got that you've got that team behind you with the confidence, it makes such a difference. And speaking of the devil, Alex, welcome on back. Congratulations. That was an incredibly impressive set. Well played.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
How are you feeling?
I feel good. Everything did exactly what I wanted it to. I'm absolutely delighted.
I am so impressed with Scovillain's performance. I think everybody's impressed by Scovillain's performance in that set there. The fact that it lives not only the Hurricane, but the subsequent play rough, the turn afterwards, to live, take that redirection twice, thrice even. Very impressive stuff. Really, really happy to see Mega Scovillain do bits for you. And Komodo went absolutely fucking sicko mode.
Yeah.
You want to talk about that?
One of the first things that we decided in prep was that Komodo just looked absolutely silly into Tom's team. It looked like if I could redirect for it properly, then it went absolutely berserk. Unfortunately, one of the downsides for it is that obviously its spread move, Clanging Scales, is a bit of a problem because it lowers your defense as well, which means that things like Mega Scizor in the back could just sit there and like sword stance on me and potentially just pick me off later on in the match. So I figured that if we pair that with like a specially defensive Scovillain, we can potentially snag a burn on some of the physical attackers, like as we saw the Raichu was packing player off. So literally that was just a case of everything that I built to do work did exactly what I wanted it to. I even had time to get the beat up KO at the end.
That is something I did pick up on. It's like the ultimate disrespect. Komodo has absolutely bodied this man, but you know what would be more funny? Mousehold. And I respect the fuck out of that. Excellent. Very good last turn. I did appreciate that. But yeah.
I figured you wouldn't let me live that down if I didn't do it. I will say though, Sorry to interrupt. I just want to put it out there. Tom has beat me every single time we've played, and the last time we played was in VDL finals, as I mentioned earlier. So to even just take one win, that was like a big weight off my chest because Tom is such a bogey player of mine.
It's always nice to get results against your sort of, like you say, your bogey players. But I mean, you and I obviously, Alex, we talked about that first game matchup with Rosen coming into the side, and that seemed to go off almost without a hitch. But I didn't really know that Kamoa was a plan. I came into sort of looking at your team a bit late. Was that always the idea of like game 2, I'm going to go with this pairing? Because like you say, lowering your defense is mitigated by that spicy spray getting the burns on things. Was that always the plan? Just like game 2, I'm going to go with these two and just try and win it from the off?
Yeah, pretty much. I kind of wanted to see what would happen game 1 in regards to whether I could get Ape to do things first, because the plan for game 1 was always going to be Ape with Rotom as the lead. Unfortunately, the idea with that was to try and outspeed Pelipper and try and knock it down before. We discussed the idea of a Scarf Pelipper being a real problem for me and getting up Tailwind. So once we worked out that electric spread moves aren't completely redirected by Lightning Rod, I was like, okay, well now I can just Electro Web and then Taunt just in case it does. I even EV'd on the off chance it went for Hurricane. But once that won game 1, I was in the position where I could just, we'll just see how Komo and Scovillain work together, because that was just something I didn't really have time to do many calcs for. That was just a case of, these two look good in theory, let's just see how it goes in practice.
Yeah.
Boy, did it go well.
In practice, it went swimmingly, yeah. Really good stuff. I was saying to Ellie during the commentary there, with regards to Mega Scovillain, when it was first sort of announced and released and they showed what ability it was going to have, a lot of the response was, that's a really cool ability. It's a shame that it's on a Pokemon that's really frail and it's going to die to the first hit. But really, you're showing there exactly what it can do when it's EV to take multiple hits.
Yeah, really impressive stuff. I mean, what was the spread on that Scovillain? Just out of curiosity, if you're okay with sharing, of course. Like, just out of curiosity, I'd love to see the spread.
It was max special defense calm.
Well, that makes a lot of sense.
32-32 with 2 in speed, just in case of any kind of speed tie shenanigans. Yeah, it was just trying to. I calced it. That's how much I needed to live Hurricane plus Fake Out, I think it was, from Raichu, just in case I did redirect it away.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, an inspired bring, especially into that game too. Like, do we think that this is the start of a Komodo MVP push?
It's certainly off to a good start if it is. That's for sure.
Not if I'm letting Mousehold take all its kills.
I was going to say, if we get to the end of the season and Komodo has lost out on the MVP spot by 1 KO, I'm going to laugh at you.
Okay.
I'm gonna laugh too because it'll be worth it.
but on the counter, if Mousehold wins by 1, then it's inspired.
The only way that's better is if Komodo loses by 1, and that's the only KO Mousehold gets all season.
The best part of that Mousehold set, by the way, was timid with 0 attack IVs.
To get the least damage into the Annihilate.
Yep, that was it.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Presumably the rest of it was all supporting moves.
Yeah, it was beat up, follow me, protect, encore.
The encore. Yes, that makes sense as well. I mean, yeah, it certainly worked out nicely.
I'm just sad I never got to show the Sizzle off. It was nothing special, but it had Tailwind in case of a Scarf Tailwind from Pelipper, so I could counteract it.
Very fun. I didn't even know it got that move. I'm going to be so honest.
It's the only thing on my team that's got it.
Yeah, well now you know.
Wow. With
yeah, delighted.
I will say my favourite bit of commentary in that one was Clangorous Hole.
Clangorous Hole.
It sure did tear some Clangorous holes in Tom's team. So you know what,
Sure
I stand by it. I stand by it. No regrets.
I didn't remember that being said, so I couldn't remember which of us said it. I like that you just took immediate responsibility.
Oh,
Oh,
no,
you
let's
knew
be
it was
honest.
Ali.
It's gonna be me. I believe it's me.
Anyway, we shall move on to our final game of the night. It's going to be Alex and Shroom for this one. I'm sure that Alex will actually be casting this one instead of leaving it up to me. I don't know. We could be wrong. But...
That being said, I've got to go have my second dinner. I'll see you later.
second dinner.
We've had one, yes.
Second dinner, Pippin.
What about second dinner?
Anyway, Alex and Dave, take it away with the matchup.
Take it away, lads.
We most certainly shall. Looking at who we've got, looking at our running order, here we go. It is Gert versus Matrix. So we've got our second matchup of Mega Metagross versus Pelipper Swampert, Swampert, Mega Swampert plus Rain, I should say. Very interesting stuff going on here. We've got Mega Venusaur on Gert's side. It's, I think, might be our first matchup of two teams of 12, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong there.
I believe so, yes. I don't think we've... our first game wasn't two teams of 12, and I know that Ellie has 9 mons, so... Yeah, this is our first full roster matchup, so very interesting. I will say, Gert's team is essentially... Oh, we've got the makings of a rain team... of a sun team here. Oh, where's the sun? Oh, it got cold instead. It's Australian summer.
He's taken the wrong 9/10. How unfortunate. What a foolish mistake to make. But yeah, there is shenanigans afoot on both sides there. I mean, Mega Metagross plus Talonflame. I mean, if you can support Mega Metagross with Tailwind and indeed Aurora Veil, then that is a very scary prospect for anyone to take on. But Matrix has a good amount of disruption going on his side of the field as well, between Meowstic Male and Aromatisse, and we've seen some excellent use of Aromatisse in the past from our very own Necrostevo. So if Matrix can get some of the same kind of use out of it, then it can become a very difficult mon and team that it's supporting to take down. But there are some cool lower tier picks going on there. I mean, there's every chance that we could see Beartic coming with Slush Rush to counteract potential snow. We've got a Luxray and a regular Pyroar on one side. We love to see Luxray. Pyroar is a terrible Pokemon. I know that you like it, but I don't.
You're not allowed to say that. This is the PPL stream. You know, it's the mascot. You've got to big up the mascot.
I stand by it. I think one of the ones I'm really excited to potentially see from this matchup is one that I haven't seen much of myself, and that's Mega Drampa. I would really like to see Mega Drampa come to this one.
And I think Mega Drampa does actually have a very nice matchup here. Obviously, it does struggle with the Alolan Ninetales, but it's bulky enough to take at least one hit from everything on the other side and has very good coverage into Gert's team. So, apart from the Snorlax, which can always just take 1, maybe 2 hits because of its just pure, obscene special bulk, Drampa could put in some work against some of the other things. And if we see a potential Trick Room, which Aromatisse does learn, that is, of course, a very solid angle that Matrix could pull. Conkeldurr underspeeds a lot of the stuff here. Drampa, of course, is slower than everything barring Spiritomb and Snorlax. So, yeah, there's a couple of angles here. I wonder how Gert's going to manage versus the rain mode on Matrix's side, because Mega Swampert looks like it's gonna be a bit of a nuisance. Obviously, there's the Palafin to counteract it, but when you look at these two next to each other in terms of like draft to draft, it kind of looks like they've both got answers for the other's modes. So this could end up being a bit of a slower, more calculated matchup than we've seen today so far.
Yeah, and by rocking out with the Mega Swampert rain mode, Matrix puts Gert under a lot of pressure to get the most out of Mega Venusaur. But if he wants to use Mega Venusaur to counteract Swampert, firstly, you've got to take into account the Pelipper next to it. But also, it means that you're not megaing up that very potent threat of Mega Metagross. Now, as Ellie said about her own one, Mega Metagross can still function as just a regular Metagross. That's still a really good mon. But if you want to get the most out of Mega Venusaur counteracting that rain, then you lose the ability to run Mega on the Metagross. And that is just a decision that Gert is going to possibly have to make in the moment. I could possibly see him bringing both of his Megas to the first game, if they're on the squad, and just deciding in the moment which one he wants to mega more.
I think that would probably be the best way to go about it, because even base form Venusaur and base form Metagross are wonderful additions to. And I know you mentioned this earlier with Ellie when Ellie was playing, but even if you don't choose to mega your Metagross, you've still got a Metagross who's pretty damn good.
Absolutely. And then we talk about sort of how Gert reacts defensively to Matrix's offense. Matrix can then come in with some pretty good defense of his own, because supported especially by Rain, how well does Gert do against that Corviknight?
Yeah, Corviknight. I'm still traumatized by that mon, but that's a testament to how solid Corviknight can be defensively, especially physically. If Gert doesn't bring things for this Corviknight, it will just sit on Gert for the entire game, set up with bulk ups, and just become unkillable. So, yeah, you have to be so careful about that mon.
Yeah, and I think Matrix has potentially built a team that can enable Corviknight very well, especially against a team like Gert's, which is very strong in its own right. But the things on Gert's team specifically that want to take on Corviknight do not do well into Mega Swampert Rain. I mean, Pyro does not want to be, fielding that smoke. Luxray is not the greatest electric type in the world, and also does not want to deal with Mega Swampert. You've got the Alolan Ninetales that can reset the rain, but is not necessarily the strongest Pokemon in the world. And from there, you're just looking at the coverage moves of the likes of Hydreigon, and maybe even Talonflame trying to Torchlight it down, but Talonflame doesn't want to deal with rain either. So there is a lot of pressure on Gert to get the team right here.
Absolutely, and if Gert doesn't get it right, it absolutely it could be lights out for Matrix, because if Gert doesn't get it right, sorry, it could be lights out for Gert, because that absolute monster of a Mega Swampert, that thing is such a problem. Now, granted, Mega Venusaur is wonderful versus it, but outside of that, there's really not much that wants to stand in the way of a Wave Crash Ice Punch combo.
No, that's true. I mean, we could be looking at something like a Scarfed Alolan Ninetales, because that has the dual purposes of getting rid of that rain and maybe being able to sort of freeze dry, which obviously is a move that cannot be overlooked, into a rain core that is quad weak to it. So there is an option there. I've just seen that Jack has put that in the chat as well. Great minds think alike, Jack. So I think, Gert is going to have to get creative. He does have PPL tenure, of course, so he has some experience coming into Season 2. Well, he has to be drawing on a lot of that, I think, to try and get around what looks like a very difficult matchup for him to go into. I could even see something like a dedicated Trick Room core coming. We saw from Jack, he's drafted Snorlax and has put a lot of faith in it for his building. Maybe Gert will be doing the same, but I think that we are ready to get into the battling itself here. Both our coaches are ready, and we do see no rain.
No rain whatsoever. We were just talking about how wonderful Mega Swampert is into Gert's team, and then we see no Mega Swampert. What a decision. However, we do see a thing that neither of us thought about, and we kind of glossed over it. There's a Psy-Spam core here. There is Prankster Meowstic and Armor Rouge. So that is absolutely terrifying. However, there's two Dark types and a Metagross on the other team. So I'm not sure how effective it's going to be.
There are, two Dark types and that Mega Metagross. I mean, Metagross doesn't match up amazingly well into Armor Rouge, because it can still hit with fire, resist both of those stabs. It has Wide Guard for the Earthquake, things like that. Those Dark types could be a problem, and I think that is now going to become the focus of how Matrix deals with Gert's team. So, getting into our final battle of the stream, live here with the PPL Season 2 of VGC, and it is the Psy-Spam lead coming in versus the double Dark core on the other side. So, you called it. How does he deal with the Psy-Spam? Exactly like this.
Exactly. That is the worst possible matchup for a Slice Spam potential team that you could possibly think of. A Dark type that resists fire, and a Spiritomb that can just set up Trick Room to ignore your speed boosts from your weak armor. So, terrifying, terrifying prospect for Matrix. Dare I say it, they might have got this one wrong.
Yeah, it looks like that's the wrong lead off rip. I mean, we cannot discount the fact that he might be prepped for this. I mean, we've seen leads that we didn't think were favourable, and our coaches were prepped for them. But it might be time for something like a hard pivot out with the Armor Rouge, I would think, because, you know, that Meowstic can still do a good amount of support. It is going to be fake out into the Hydreigon. Big crit, huge crit for 7% damage. Flinch onto the Hydreigon, and we're going to see Snarl come in from the Spiritomb that is outspeeding Armor Rouge. Is Armor Rouge going for Trick Room?
It's going for Trick Room, I would imagine. So yeah, we're going to see the Colbur Berry pop as well. Wonderful information for Bill. But there it is, the Trick Room. And what happens now? What is the plan? Do you go for Dazzling Gleam? Is that your plan? How does this... The only thing I can think of here is they're going to hard pivot out into Drampa, but they have to get Drampa in safely, because if Drampa doesn't come in at the right time, it's going to eat a dragon move to the face, and it's just going to perish. So I'm curious. Matrix, I'm not a believer, but I want to be.
Yeah, this is a strange time for Matrix, because he is prepped for Dark Offense in with the Armor Rouge. Unfortunately, it was a Snarl that came in from the Spiritomb, both breaking that Colbur Berry and lowering the special attack. And unfortunately, Spiritomb is the slowest thing on the field right now, unless that is like Iron Ball, which, you know, I think that lower speed. Either way, it's going to be a pivot into Meowscarada here, and a hard pivot out with the Meowstic into that Drampa. Now, have we got the turns right on the on Bill's side? Well, it's going to be Poltergeist into the Meowscarada. Doesn't do a massive amount of damage. And the Hydreigon going to be going for Dark Pulse into the Drampa. That does a good chunk, but it's still around. And now Drampa has some room to maneuver. It's got a bit of field to play with here with the Trick Room.
Absolutely. The important thing to note as well, the Poltergeist did reveal that the Meowscarada is Life Orb as well. So the Meowscarada is going to be the slowest thing on the field here after the Trick Room. It might well be a support Meowscarada. It might be going for potential ally switches or even helping hands. But with the Life Orb, you wouldn't think that it's going to be built to be a support mon.
No, absolutely not. I don't really know what Meowscarada is going to do on the Trick Room. It's an interesting game plan here from Matrix. We're going to see the withdrawal of Hydreigon. Here is going to come in Metagross hitting the field for the first time. And now we do see that Mega Drampa. I was excited for this. I'm really hoping that we're going to see a good amount of damage output from this very threatening new Mega under Trick Room. We're going to see a Snarl come in. That is going to... it's going to miss the Drampa. That could be huge.
Huge dodge
that
into the
be
Drampa,
massive.
And that special attack drop might be huge. We see the Hyper Voice come out, which doesn't actually look like it's going to have done too much, but still does a decent 20% into the Metagross. But it does dodge it, and Clover the Meowscarada goes for the Play Rough, goes into a Fairy type, and the dodge from the Spiritomb. So the hacks, probably the more influential hacks there, was that dodge from the Spiritomb. That is very unfortunate.
Yeah, hacks flying around all over the place. You've got to imagine, if the Spiritomb didn't go down to that, it would have taken a serious amount of damage. And now this Meowscarada is under a significant amount of threat from that Metagross. And Matrix knows that. He is going to get on out of there. And it is going to be the Cat coming in. The Poltergeist is going to fail. And Earth Power is going to come in on the Metagross. That's going to take it to 1 hit point. Ooh, that was dicey. 1 hit point live. It's going to be an Iron Head. And that is not going to take out the Drampa. And there we see the Berserk boost. That is going to get around any future Snarls that may come into it. And I don't think the Snarl will take it out. But Bullet Punch might be able to.
It absolutely might. And even if it doesn't, this is the last turn of Trick Room anyway. So this low health Drampa right here has 1 turn to try and get some damage off. And it might not even get that with that Bullet Punch. So It's been an interesting back and forth here. We called it in the intro. This might be a bit of a slower game, trying to just chip away at each other. There's certainly not been a lot of huge hits going around, but the Metagross is going to go for the Protect here, trying to potentially hide the fact that there's a Bullet Punch, but the Fake Out predicting the Bullet Punch. We're going to see that Snarl, and we get another dodge. This poor Spiritomb didn't bring its glasses, but you are correct. The Snarl does not take out the Drampa, which goes for Draco Meteor. This Spiritomb has been training in the mountains. A second dodge from the Spiritomb on a 90% accurate move. That is dreadfully unfortunate.
This Spiritomb has plot armor. This Spiritomb has plot armor. That is 2 big dodges, and you have to imagine if both of those hits had landed, this Spiritomb would be out of there. But now it is free to keep on hitting those Snarls, making up for the Berserk boost, which I think is now at neutral, but this thing's going to be outsped, and now is when the Metagross chooses to Mega Evolve. Now that the Trick Room is gone, this thing can start going in with those big Tough Claws boosted attacks. This might be aimed into the Meowscarada. It's...
Sunny day.
That has stopped me in my tracks.
Understandably. The Iron Head going into the Meowstick, which is it's going to live, and the Hyper Voice coming out here does take out the Metagross here. So, you know, we do see the Mega going down here, so that is technically first blood out here as well. But the Snarl is going to finish both off. That's a double down for this Spiritomb, which, let's be real, should not be on the field.
It very much shouldn't. This Spiritomb, like we say, has plot armor. There is no way the Spiritomb should certainly be at 100%, let alone. Like, it probably, I think everyone would admit it probably should be gone by now. But it is still there. The Sunny Day is... that floored me. It's interesting. But now in comes the final Pokemon to be revealed on Bill's side, and that is the Talonflame. Now, if this thing has Gale Wings, it's going to be doing big damage to Meowscarada.
It is indeed, and if we do see a Tailwind here, that could also be very tricky for Matrix to get around, because that would allow the likes of the Hydreigon in the back to come in and finish off whatever this Armarouge has to do. So yeah, while Meowscarada does look very, very threatening to what's left and could be the key to getting the win here, it's got to be very careful on how it goes about it, because that Talonflame is going to absolutely murder it. We're going to see the Protect come out here. It's going to change itself to the normal type, no longer weak to the Talonflame's Flying Stab. And what's going to happen? It goes for the Brave Bird. I don't think with the health that this thing is at, that's going to matter. I think it still takes it out. But the Flamethrower into the Talonflame, doing a clean 58% damage. And a Poltergeist. It's going to reveal a Sugar Berry as well. Great information for Bill. And down goes the Armarouge. And now it's Meowscarada versus the world.
This is going to be difficult for Meowscarada. Now, we know that it has the coverage to hit this Spiritomb and the Hydreigon. I believe it went for Protect, so it will have proteined into normal. That at least protects it a little bit from the Spiritomb's Poltergeist, but it needs to get around this Talonflame. That is probably one of the bigger threats to it right now. If it can get rid of the Talonflame, then there is a chance for Meowscarada to do this, but I mean, it's at 56%. It's not going to be easy. He's going to go for a double Protect here. It's not going to take Brave Bird. That's going to come in and take out the Meowscarada. Down it goes, and that is going to be a 3-0 win to Bill, who's going to take the first game in this series.
You could argue that that was a little bit fortunate on Bill's side. The double dodge from the Spiritomb, which allowed it to just stay alive and just keep hitting things. Very, very fortunate on that side. However, that was a very interesting bit of play there from Matrix. They certainly caught me off guard with some of their tactics, but on another day, I think that could potentially have worked out for them.
Yeah, I mean, Matrix showed his hand a bit there with a lot of the tech that he has been rocking on this team. But it also puts into the back of Bill's mind, like, what is he going to bring now? Does he have anything else that he wants to show off? Are there other tricks I have to prepare for? Which of the tricks that he's already shown is he going to try and bring again? So it puts questions and doubt into Bill's mind about this game too. But I mean, what other adjustments can Matrix make here? Other than hitting.
That's the biggest adjustment, isn't it? I think
Hmm.
the biggest adjustment we could see here would probably be that Corviknight showing up, because that thing looked like it was going to be very good into the Metagross and the potential Venusaur that was here. I think as well the Gengar, which as again we didn't see last time out, it could be quite decent here, but the speed tier makes it a little bit difficult to run, especially speed tying with Mega Metagross, who's just going to murder you into another life. So yeah, it's tough, because on the one hand, I feel like Matrix showed a lot of their tricks, and Bill got a lot of information from those poltergeists in the last game. But here we are, ladies and gentlemen, game 2 of our final game here. And is it going to be a 4th consecutive 2-0 win? Let's find out. We see the Meowscarada and the Corviknight showing up, and we see the Metagross and the Talonflame.
Yeah, so both coaches switching up their leads here dramatically. You did call it that the Corviknight was going to make an appearance, and I think that's an adjustment that Matrix had to make to try and wrestle some potency back into this one and try and take it to a game 3. The question that we have to ask here is what kind of fire offense is that Talonflame packing to potentially deal with this Corviknight? Because on Team Preview, Corby looked really good, and that's not something that Bill will have ignored. I'm sure that there will be prep work there to try and deal with it, and Talonflame is one of the ways of doing that. Talon looks really good into these two, which might free up Metagross to do something nasty.
It might indeed. This Talonflame, as you mentioned, looks like it's going to be putting out a lot of pressure onto these two. But Matrix is not going to allow that thing to murder the Meowscarada, and it's going to make the hard switch out into Armarouge, who we also haven't revealed an ability on yet. But the Metagross Mega Evolving off rip this time, not at 19% health. Let's see what's going to happen here. It's going to be we're going to see an overheat here into the Corviknight slot. Huge damage, 68% into the Corviknight at the cost of a special attack drop. And Thunder Punch double targeting the Corviknight. That's a wrap for the bird.
Yeah, I mean, we said it looked good. I said that Bill would not have ignored Corviknight as a threat, and that is exactly what we've seen here. So a really good turn 1 for Bill, getting that double targeting completely correct as we see Gengar come onto the field. Now, what can Gengar do here? Obviously, there is a threat potentially to the Mega Metagross here, from both Mons, in fact, depending on what they both want to do. But there is plenty of bulk in the back with those two dark types that Bill can go into. This has to be an immediate response from Matrix, or he might be too far behind to make a comeback. And it is going to be the Spiritomb coming in place of the Talonflame. Shadow Ball into that Spiritomb, going to do a good amount. Maybe not enough. Psychic Fangs, that's going to do all of the damage. All the damage to Gengar.
Lord.
But he gets the Cursed Body. Now, is that going to play into things? Hard to say. What is the Armarouge going to do?
Now it's me.
Is it
that
lagging
stopped
for
the
you as
match.
well?
Not lagging for me, just baffled. Interesting. Yeah, I'm stumped. That was not what I expected to come out that turn. You have a Mega Metagross facing you down, and Expanding Force is the answer. Yeah, that was, unfortunately, there might be a case of they might be playing a little bit on tilt here, and the Shadow Sneak goes out into the Armarouge, and foul play from Clover is going to go into the Mega Metagross. Now that is a smart bring, but it's not going to be into Mega Metagross. It's into the Spiritomb.
I think I'm back. I was lagging out horribly there, and missed a lot of things that happened. I have seen that the Spiritomb's just gone down.
Yes, the Armarouge went for Expanding Force and targeted the Spiritomb, which has finally gone down, so Matrix has defeated their Grudgemon, but I think they're a little bit too far gone now, and Matrix, I think unless they've got some crazy tech up their sleeve, I'm not sure what they can do to come back in this.
Yeah, I feel like that foul play really needed to go into the Mega Metagross there to give the best chance. There was a world where that could have gone differently. I think that maybe Matrix was just thinking, I need to make some plays here. I need to make some predictions, which when you're behind is something that is a bit of a last resort, but sometimes it's what needs to happen. It is going to be Brave Bird. That's going to go into the Armoroost. That's going to take it out. That was one of the bigger threats, and now it is just the Meowscarada left to deal with both these mons. It is going to be the foul play, and it is going to take out that Mega Metagross. So at least that one is going to go down. But now it is Meowscarada once again versus the world, and we've already seen that Talonflame is looking to be outspeeding it, and there's still an unrevealed one in the back, and it is the Hydreigon. Now, we do know that there is Play Rough on deck. It just depends on whether Matrix has a chance to click it.
Exactly, yes. The Talonflame is most likely going to get 2 attacks off versus this thing as well, and it could potentially be Flame Body as well. So this Meowscarada is going to need a lot of good fortune going its way to be able to win this. It needs an Overheat miss, it needs a Draco miss, it needs something, because otherwise this is a wrap. This is a wrap.
Yeah, I mean, the misses have gone against Matrix so far. Maybe they go for him in this one. That's what we need. It's going to be a Protect. Going to scout out what these mons are going to go for, which is fair. It's going to be Brave Birds from the Talonflame, and from the Hydreigon, it's going to be the Draco Meteor. So maybe there is the in. The question is, does he have a move on Meowscarada that can take out Talonflame?
The only one that Meowscarada learns that will be able to take out Talonflame from this range is Power Gem, and I think we've seen all of the moves so far. I don't think it's going to be rocking it. We're going to see the Brave Bird come out here, and Meowscarada lives on 15, so depending on what happens here, it might get another attack with the Life Orb. It's going to go for Play Rough, and that is salt into the wound. That is salt into the wound. That is tragedy. Matrix, the Hax Gods were not with you in this game. That is... Sometimes the game just decides it does not want to let you play, and that is what's happened here. We see a 4th consecutive 2-0 victory, and that one's just tragic.
That was incredibly tough. Like, that's 2 Play Rough misses and the Draco Meteor miss. That's incredibly tough stuff for Matrix. There's nothing he can do about that. Sometimes that does just happen. There was nothing he could have done. Those plays at the time, those 3 moves, were certainly the right ones to click. And the game just said, you know what? Not today.
Not today. And that's just what happens in this game. You can be riding a high from, making a crazy good prediction. You could get your play right, and then Rock Slide flinches you, or you miss your Draco Meteor, and that's a wrap. It's just unfortunately the game we play.
Yeah,
it is the game we play.
I was gonna say twice the mons, twice the likeness of some bullshit happening, and that's what we've just seen. I do wonder, did we see all 4 moves on that Meowscarada? I know we saw Foul Play, Play Rough, and Protect. If that last move was Sucker Punch, would that have taken out a Talonflame? That potentially was minus defense, considering it had both Overheat and Brave Bird. But I guess we'll never know, because the game just decided, nah, this is not going to be today.
Yeah. And that's just what happens, unfortunately. For what it's worth, I don't think a Sucker Punch would have taken out Talonflame, even with minus defense. I mean, it was Life Orb, but yeah, that's in the words of Prince Zuko, that's rough, buddy.
That's rough, buddy. Yeah. Yeah, I think certainly if Sucker Punch was that final move on there, that was the right play to make, because you knew the Brave Bird was coming in. You try and make it take as much recall damage as you can. You target down that Hydreigon, and then you click Sucker Punch and hope. So correct play to make in that instance once again, but yet again, unfortunately for Matt, the game just went, not today.
Yeah, it's just one of those days, unfortunately. I think we've all been there. And yeah, you kind of just got to go, well, you know what? Game just didn't want me to win today. What can I do? And move on to the next one. But not to take away from Bill. Bill played, especially in Game 2, exceptionally well. And I think he had very good prep as well. But it sucks for Matrix to not be able to play the game, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
tough.
we've all been there. Like all of us here have been on, I think, both the giving and receiving end of hacks like that. So we all know what it's like. We've all benefited and lost from it. It sucks. Like whatever side you're on, whether you're like the beneficiary or the victim of it, you never like to see it. Because it's like you said, like it didn't allow him to play the game. So it does suck. But it is the game we play. It is only the first week of a 7-week season. There is plenty of time to get right back into this.
Yeah, and I know, like, for those two in particular as well, like, they was just, they're good friends. They would have wanted a clean game, but sometimes it just be like that. Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of times where the Metagross was just kind of allowed to do whatever it wanted there. I'm assuming they was trying to make plays around Protect, which makes a lot of sense. There was 2 things on the field that could just kill the Metagross, but man, like, Bill just decided, nah, I will quite happily sack my Metagross for damage or whatever on these ones that are out. So just well played from Bill, good predictions, and yeah, unfortunately, just luck was not on Matrix side. But
yeah,
with that game,
I think
sorry, carry on.
I was going to say, in the moment, I think I was a little bit harsh on some of especially the expanding force coming out. It probably was a prediction. It probably was a little bit of, I just need to click a button and I've got to try and get something going.
Yeah.
And especially after being potentially off tilt from the first game, I can understand the impatience to try and do something in the second, especially after losing a Mon turn 1 for free. And
there was the switch in. It was a Talonflame at the start of the turn, and they switched in the Spiritomb. So it was just, if the Spiritomb wasn't there or the Hydreigon wasn't there coming in, and it was probably a dead Talonflame. So you just kind of had to try and play to, again, I think, expect the Metagross to Protect in front of 2 mons that it's weak to, and try and get rid of that other slot. But it just didn't end up working out, and Bill and Matrix will know each other so well that I wouldn't be surprised. A lot of those predictions are based off of previous games that they played, and we're not in the know. We don't know the law.
We don't know the law.
Yeah, we didn't do the required reading.
They're unbelievable. So how dare us not go back and view like 10 seasons worth of VGC between these two?
Again, I'm happy to blame the Dom Fanatic for this. How could you do this?
Yeah, of course.
Jack?
I know, it's not on, man. Come on.
So, moral of the story, it's always a Dom Fanatic.
It's always a Jack.
And on that note,
All right.
I think it's probably about time that we wrap this one up. We've had one of the more kind of not thrown together. That's not the word I'm looking for. Eventful nights. You all got to enjoy half a game of free-for-alls in the middle of it. Can't confirm that they'll be back in a future week, but you never know. If there's enough requests
for
them.
If we have an hour to wait, maybe.
But big thank you to all of our coaches for participating tonight. It was a night of 2-0s, but sometimes it'd be like that. Sometimes it's a week of 2-1s and incredibly close games. I don't think these were all landslides by any means, but also a big thank you to Ellie, Alex, and Shroom once again for coming out and casting these games. And thank you to everyone for watching. We'll be back for week 2 next week, hopefully with another 4 games, maybe 5, who knows. But yeah, unless you have any parting words, we'll wrap it up here.
And you know what? Thank you to you for hosting and for stepping in for game 1.
Yeah,
Let's
well
give
done.
some props where it's due.
Yeah, absolute props. So thank you very much for hosting.
I don't know, some of the things
it's
that I
been
said
fun.
whilst casting, probably a little bit questionable. So, something
You gotta balance that against the fact that it would have been Alex otherwise. So
yeah, true. I was sorry about mothers being passed around apparently in that game.
Excuse me. So what did I miss?
don't question it.
Well, yep.
Don't worry about it.
And yeah, we'll go ahead and wrap up. We'll see you all next week. And yeah, see you later.
Bye, everyone.
Catch you later.
Boy.